Chapter 69. There were more than a dozen burly men in black standing around him. They were not like Tang Wanyan and Zhou Zhenghao's men. There was also an old man in his 50s standing beside him. "Uncle Yi, why are you looking for me?" Jiang Tian stood in the middle of the hall and asked. Yi Gufeng's face was cold and his eyes were sharp. He did not look like a gentleman in front of the public at all. "Jiang Tian, what do you think of the sea?" Yi Gufeng asked. Jiang Tian looked at the endless sea under the moonlight and said, "Vast and majestic. Vast and deep. Most people would feel insignificant in front of the sea." "That's right. If I hadn't seen this vast ocean and only seen Lin Zhou's Xiu Lake, I would have thought that Xiu Lake was the Great Lake." Yi Gufeng said meaningfully, "So, a person's vision and experience are very important." Then, he turned around and looked at Jiang Tian. "Just like you, Jiang Tian. You may be a big shot in Lin Zhou and Jinling, but in Lingnan or Huaxia, you are nothing." Jiang Tian smiled and said, "Uncle Yi, what do you mean?" "What I mean is very clear. Ziwei likes you, but her vision is too shallow. She is obsessed with you." Yi Gufeng said coldly, "I hope you don't play those games with Ziwei anymore. Make her give up." Jiang Tian shook his head and said, "Uncle Yi, I want to remind you. I want to remind Uncle Yi that Ziwei's life can only be controlled by himself. Don't interfere." "How dare you?" Yi Gufeng pulled a long face and said coldly, "How dare you talk to me like that? Even your father, Jiang Zhixing, and your mother, Zhang Wanqing, wouldn't dare to be so rude to me." "Who do you think you are, Jiang Tian?" "Uncle Yi, I respect you because you are an elder. I hope you will respect yourself." Jiang Tian's eyes were full of arrogance. In his previous life, he had dominated the universe and killed countless monsters. He had even forced the Holy King and the Divine Prince to submit to him. A mere Yi Gufeng might be feared by those ordinary people, but in the eyes of Jiang Tian, he was nothing. "Jiang Tian, even though you're the abandoned son of the Jiang family, you're still from a wealthy family. The Jiang family's assets are also worth 10 billion. Also, your parents adopted Ziwei. Logically speaking, it is reasonable for Ziwei to repay the kindness of raising her and marry you." Yi Gufeng had a disdainful look on his face as he sneered, "But from tonight onwards, it's different. Yi Ziwei is my daughter. My daughter will never marry an ignorant and incompetent trash. You are not worthy of her. Besides, you're already married. How can the princess of my Yi family, the pearl of my, Yi Gufeng's, be your concubine? Then how can I be worthy of Sister Ziwei?" Jiang Tian looked at her and asked softly. "If we're talking about family background, an abandoned son or even a branch family member like you won't make it. You have to be the first successor and have the hope of controlling the family." Yi Gufeng said proudly. "A family like the Jiang family is too weak. There must be one or two important provincial officials in the family. If we're talking about ability, in business, you can be in charge of a company worth 10 billion before you're 30. If you're in politics or the military, you can become a deputy director or even a senior colonel in a few years. Unfortunately, I can't see any hope in you." Yi Gufeng shook his head in disappointment and disdain. "You've damaged your brain after drinking. You're not in your right mind. And you're cruel and crazy. You once beat up Boss Li and Lu Wangfeng. Such simple and violent behavior is incompatible with the social system. What can you achieve?" He looked at Jiang Tian with disdain, as if he had seen through Jiang Tian completely. Jiang Tian was silent for a moment, then suddenly sneered. "Uncle Yi, it's just wishful thinking. I only treat Sister Ziwei as my sister. I have no other feelings. But you're right about one thing. I'm simple and violent and ignore the rules. Because I have the ability to dominate everything. What makes you think you can?" Yi Gufeng looked at Jiang Tian as if he was an idiot and sneered. "You're an abandoned son and can't rely on the Jiang family. Even if the Jiang family let you rely on them, the Jiang family is already dying. What can you do?" I don't rely on the Jiang family, I rely on myself. Jiang Tian smiled faintly. Rely on yourself? Yi Gufeng looked at Jiang Tian in surprise. After a moment of silence, he sighed. I was once like you, full of lofty aspirations, thinking that I could carve out a piece of the world with my own two hands. But in the end, I found out that there are strict barriers in this world. You and I can't break through them. If you go recklessly, you'll only break your head and bleed. I was just a small civil servant back then. Now, my father-in-law is an old leader. Even the mayor and secretary have to be polite when they see me. My Hainan Airlines group is worth tens of billions. I control the shipping routes of the Yangtze River and several international shipping routes. His face was full of pride as he pointed at the old man beside him and said, "This is Duke Qiu, a martial arts expert. He's at the peak of internal force. This is not something a brat like you can imagine." When Yi Gufeng spoke up to this point, he saw that Jiang Tian was still unmoved. He was a little angry. He had put so much money on Qin Fan, but Qin Fan was still not convinced. This guy must be out of his mind. He said patiently, "The Medicine King Group is in trouble now. If you can persuade Ziwei to leave the Jiang family and cut off all ties with you, I will lend you 1 billion or 2 billion interest-free loan." Hee, it's just 2 billion. What's that? I, Jiang Tian, can get it easily. Jiang Tian snorted and said disdainfully. And what you are so proud of, in my opinion, I can destroy it with one punch. Lunatic. Jiang Tian, I think you really are a lunatic. Yi Gufeng finally lost his patience. He swung his sleeves and snorted. Since you are so stubborn, I won't talk to you anymore. That 2 billion is off the table. You can leave now. Then he waved his hand and gave the old man next to him a look. Lord Qiu, please send the guest out. Mr. Jiang, I will send you out. Lord Qiu led the way and sent Jiang Tian up the spiral staircase. He smiled and said, "Young man, you have lost an opportunity to save 20 years of hard work. If you agree, Master Feng will definitely guide you and help you take charge of the Jiang family. If I had this opportunity when I was young, I would have become a big shot. Now, I am just a bodyguard. To you, it is an opportunity, but to me, it is nothing." Jiang Tian's eyes were filled with arrogance. Arrogant, ignorant, and stubborn. Lord Qiu was so angry that his face turned pale. He swung his sleeves and left. As Jiang Tian went downstairs, he looked down at the rolling black waves in the sea. His gaze was distant as he sighed. The Pacific Ocean is already huge in your eyes. But you don't know that I, the Taichu Celestial Lord, have traveled the universe. This blue earth is just a speck of dust in my eyes. If I cultivate for 20 years, I can send all the gods to hell. If I reach the top, I can pierce the sun with my sword and shatter a planet with my fist. You are just ordinary people. What are you? Lord Qiu went back to the cabin and said angrily, "You can't carve a rotten wood. He is sick in the head." Whatever. His words are nothing. Without my loan, Jiang Chang'an will be anxious. Yi Gufeng waved his hand and suddenly said, "Lord Qiu, someone from Zhonghai might be here for the challenge tournament." "Yes, Lord Qiu." Lord Qiu's face also looked serious. "I have heard that Yang Kuanpeng from Zhonghai has invited a powerful fighter from overseas. He said that he is going to take over Jiangbei." Humph. Even a powerful dragon can't defeat a local snake. Yi Gufeng's face was full of arrogance as he said coldly, "Who does he think he is? Don't even think about touching Jiangbei. Don't worry, Lord Qiu. My life was given to me by you. If he dares to come, I will kill him to repay you for taking me in." Lord Qiu quickly bowed. "Please rise, Lord Qiu." Yi Gufeng politely helped him up and said hopefully, "This time, we still have to rely on Duke Qiu." When Jiang Tian returned to the deck, he saw that the battle was already in full swing. Zhao Xueqing, Yi Ziwei, and Zhengli were cheering for the fighters below the stage. Hee hee, how was it? Did you win? Jiang Tian chuckled as he walked over and asked. Honey, if you didn't come, we would have lost tens of thousands. Zhao Xueqing looked dejected as she pulled on Jiang Tian's shoulder and asked him to sit down. Then she sighed and said, but this challenge tournament is so exciting. The fighters are all provincial wushu champions and Sonda runners-up. Hee hee, Jiang Tian thought to himself, what kind of experts are these? They are just martial artists from the secular world. However, it was a good thing that Xueqing could accept martial arts. That way, she could slowly accept the logic of the wushu world. Honey, there are more fighters on the stage. Who do you think will win? Zhao Xueqing asked as she pulled on Jiang Tian's arm. Jiang Tian scanned with his divine sense and immediately determined the winner of the two fighters. He said calmly, I'll choose number 10. 5-card stud. Alright, if you don't guess correctly, I'll spank you. Zhao Xueqing quickly got up and went to the table to place her bet. Jiang Tian, did he make things difficult for you? Yi Ziwei asked worriedly when she saw that Zhao Xueqing was not back yet. No, he was very polite. Jiang Tian did not need to tell her the truth. However, when he saw Yi Ziwei's anxious and sorrowful expression, he was touched. Oh, that's good. Yi Ziwei's expression became unnatural as she suspected that Jiang Tian knew what she was thinking. She turned around and watched the fight on the stage. Looking at her graceful figure, Jiang Tian couldn't help but recall the time he spent with Yi Ziwei. When it was raining, she would hold an umbrella and hold Jiang Tian's hand as they walked home from school. When they reached home, half of her body was wet, but Jiang Tian was not even covered in a single drop of rain. After graduating from high school, she wanted to go to Beijing to study. On the platform, she hugged Jiang Tian tightly. She was reluctant to part with him and missed the train. When she received her first month's salary, she immediately bought Jiang Tian an Apple computer that he wanted for a long time. As for her, according to her mother, she only ate steamed buns and salted vegetables for half a month. In his previous life, Sister Ziwei did not get married until the car accident. She was already an old lady in her 30s. At that time, Jiang Tian could not understand why his sister, who was not related to him by blood, was so arrogant. She did not like any young man. So, it was because of him, who can say for sure when it comes to love? In this life, since I'm back, I'll make sure you're safe and happy. My silly sister, in my previous life, you loved me so much. In this life, I'll repay you 100 times. Jiang Tian sighed in his heart. Chapter 70. Suddenly, the figures of the two fighters on the boxing ring separated, and one of them fell off the ring. Jiang Tian, we won. 10 times the odds. We've made 100,000. Zhao Xueqing cheered excitedly. That's nothing. We'll continue to bet later. We can still make money. Jiang Tian smiled faintly. Another 3 rounds of betting. Zhao Xueqing's 10,000 yuan had become 500,000 yuan. Jiang Tian guessed correctly every time. Jiang Tian, how did you see it so accurately? Yi Ziwei asked curiously. Sister Weiwei, you don't know, right? Jiang Tian is very powerful now. He knows spells, can catch ghosts, and is a martial arts master. No one in Lin Zhou City would disagree with him. Zhao Xueqing said proudly. Really? Little Tian is so powerful. Yi Ziwei covered her mouth and chuckled. She did not believe it at all. Jiang Tian's body was very weak when he was young. He was always at a disadvantage when fighting with people of the same age. How could he become a martial arts master? The next day, Jiang Tian continued to bet with Zhao Xueqing and Yi Ziwei. Sometimes, they would go to the casino to gamble. Whether it was betting or gambling, Jiang Tian relied on his divine sense to win again and again. This made Zhao Xueqing very happy. Hubby, this trip was really worth it. We've made 3 to 4 million yuan. We're rich. Zhao Xueqing looked at the numbers in her bank account again and again. She was so happy that she could not close her mouth. Do you like money? Of course. Zhao Xueqing smiled and said, I'm not some otherworldly fairy. Life is not easy. Okay. In the future, I'll make a lot of money for you to spend and make you the richest person in the world. Jiang Tian said with a smile. That's great. I knew it. My hubby is the most capable. Zhao Xueqing hugged Jiang Tian's arm. Her face was full of pride, and she was beaming with joy. She was as happy as a flower. Suddenly, a middle-aged man with a powerful aura found Jiang Tian and said with a sinister smile, Jiang Tian, did you hit my son? Are you Xue Mingyi? Jiang Tian had already recognized the person. At least you have some eyes. So be it. What else do you want? Jiang Tian's expression was calm as he leisurely sipped his tea. How arrogant. How arrogant. Xue Mingyi couldn't believe it. He gritted his teeth and said, I will never let you off for this. Once we get off this cruise, I will take your life. After saying this, he walked away. Finally, the third day arrived. Today was the day of the final battle between the 3 cities of Jiangbei. The previous 2 days were nothing compared to today. On this day, the atmosphere on the deck had changed. Under the afterglow of the setting sun, 4 high platforms were erected around the ring. Leather sofas were placed on top of them. The lampposts shone white light, making it as bright as day. The view was much better than before. Around the ring, there were burly men in black. Their waists were bulging, and each of them had a stern look on their faces. The frivolous tycoons who were watching the fight 2 days ago were sitting there like primary school students, holding their breaths nervously. This was no longer an ordinary fight. The tycoons of the 3 cities of Jiangbei were here to settle their disputes. If anyone dared to cause trouble here, they would be shot to death and thrown into the sea to feed the fishes. They're here. They're here. Suddenly, someone exclaimed. A commotion broke out among the audience. The tycoon of Jiangzhou, Xue Mingyi. Master Feng's dog face Kuan. Do you have a death wish? Call him Brother Kuan. Lin Zhou City is here too. Tang Wanyan, Zheng Guangsha, Dragon the Fifth, and Zhou Zhenghao. What a gathering of overlords. Every tycoon who stepped onto the ring would cause a wave of cheers and discussions. Some were filled with admiration, while others were envious. Every one of these people was not someone ordinary rich people like them could compare to. Every one of them was a tyrant who could summon the wind and summon the rain. They were all people who could reach the heavens. Suddenly, the atmosphere on the deck turned solemn. No one said a word as they looked at the elegant man who had ascended the stage with reverence. Master Feng. Yi Gufeng of Donghai, the most powerful tycoon in Jiangbei. Among the overlords who stepped onto the stage, he was the most famous, the richest, and the most powerful. On the surface, he was the CEO of the listed company, Haiheng Group. He controlled tens of billions of assets and controlled the largest city in Jiangbei, Donghai. He even had Xue Mingyi as his underling. Compared to the people who stepped onto the stage before him, they were all slightly inferior. Yi Gufeng sat on the sofa with Qiu Gong behind him. He scanned the audience and said slowly. His voice wasn't loud, and it was slow and unhurried, but it suppressed the entire area. It was dead silent, and his voice was like an imperial edict that clearly entered everyone's ears. Everyone should know the rules. We will have a martial arts competition to determine each family's share and status. Once you leave this cruise ship, it will take effect immediately. If anyone dares to go back on their word, the tycoons of Jiangbei will kill them. Don't worry, Master Feng. We all know the rules. The tycoons nodded. Yi Gufeng looked at a tall young man behind Xue Mingyi and said, Wu Feng, I heard that you have become the family lord of the Wu family. Yes. Please support me, Master Feng. Wu Feng was startled. He quickly rose to his feet and bowed. He came from the Black River City under Jiang District and was now in charge of his family's power. His assets were worth billions and he was on equal footing with the local governor. However, when he saw Yi Gufeng, he was like a child meeting his teacher. He kept quiet out of fear. You can't do it. Yi Gufeng picked up a cup of tea and sipped it. He didn't even look at Wu Feng. He said coldly, "You are colluding with your stepmother. You gave up on your father when he was sick. You are unfilial and unfilial. Cut off 3 of your fingers and give your position to your brother, Wu Hai. Get out of my sight." "Yes, master." Wu Feng's face turned pale. He took a knife from one of his followers and cut off 3 of his fingers before he left the stage. "Master Feng, thank you for your wisdom. Otherwise, I would have been fooled by this kid." Xue Mingyi said apologetically. That was Yi Gufeng's power in Jiangbei. He could control the fate of a family in Jiangzhou City, but Xue Mingyi didn't even dare to say a word. Alas, it's all thanks to Master Feng for upholding justice. Otherwise, with such an evil person in power, wouldn't the Wu family be destroyed? That's right. The audience was suddenly filled with praises. Master Feng, I heard that you have a lot of powerful warriors working for you. I happen to have a few as well. Let's see who's the dragon and who's the worm. Suddenly, a speedboat pushed through the waves and sailed toward the stage. A bald man stood at the bow of the boat and laughed loudly. Who is that? How can he be so arrogant? Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Damn it! Yang Kuanpeng, that bastard! Lu Zikuan slammed the table and bellowed. Yi Gufeng narrowed his eyes and rose to his feet. He cupped his fist and forced a smile. I didn't know that my friends from Zhonghai would be interested in the affairs of Jiangbei. Welcome. Master Feng, I have been wanting to meet you for a long time, but you didn't give me any face. So, I have no choice but to come uninvited. Ha! Yang Kuanpeng puffed out a big cigar and laughed arrogantly. He didn't take Yi Gufeng seriously at all. Soon, he led a group of people onto the cruise ship and occupied a large section of the audience stand. It seemed that he was on par with Yi Gufeng. It's Yang Kuanpeng. Yang Kuanpeng, a tycoon of Zhonghai. The audience exclaimed. Many people were intimidated by Chen Fan's appearance. Yang Kuanpeng of Zhonghai was backed by a powerful force from overseas. No wonder he was so arrogant. This is the day when the 3 cities of Jiangbei are going to settle their disputes. Thank you for coming all the way here to witness the ceremony. Yi Gufeng ignored Yang Kuanpeng and waved a hand. Very well. Now, let the challenge tournament begin. Everyone, you may speak now. Lu Zikuan couldn't hold himself back anymore. He slammed the table and pointed at Lin Zhou's audience stand. Dragon 5th, how are you going to pay for what you did to my Tianshui town last time? The Tianshui town was located at the border between the East Sea and Linzhou. There were a few beverage factories and tens of thousands of workers there. Many entertainment venues were profitable and could bring in a few $100 million a year. How do you want to pay? Dragon 5th's face remained impassive. Li Jinwei had already made the breakthrough. He didn't even need Master Kong to deal with Lu Zikuan. If you lose, this place will be mine. Lu Zikuan put his hands on his hips and shouted. Master Jinwei, thank you so much. Dragon 5th's face was filled with hope as he cupped his fists. Don't mention it. With Master Kang's help, I can kill him like a chicken. Li Jinwei said confidently. Then, Li Jinwei tapped his feet on the ground and shot forward like a whistling arrow. He crossed 10 meters and landed on the stage. Lu Zikuan was taken aback. Li Jinwei, you are from Foshan, located in Jiangnan province. Are you going to get involved in the disputes of Jiangbei? Not really. Li Jinwei shook his head and said, I am not interested in the disputes of Jianghu. I am just taking their money. Hee, you are such an old man. Why are you fighting? Do you have a death wish? Suddenly, a voice came from below the stage. Then, a shadow appeared below the stage. Without another word, he stomped on the ground, causing the floor beneath his feet to violently tremble. His body leapt up like a large bird, leaving behind 2 deep footprints on the solid wooden floor with a loud rumble. This person was short and skinny. He was wearing a white karate suit with a black belt. He had a beard and his eyes were glowing. A Japanese. Ye Gufeng frowned and said, Zikuan, why did you find a Japanese? He is not suitable. Master Feng, it is not easy to find an expert. Lu Zikuan smiled apologetically and said, however, this Kamita villager is a Chinese. Ye Gufeng nodded and did not say anything else. On the stage, Li Jinwei smiled coldly and said, don't worry about it. A Japanese is a Japanese. I have been wanting to beat him up for a long time. Since this Kamita is asking for a beating, I will fulfill his wish. Baka. Kamita villager was furious when he heard Li Jinwei. His face was red and his veins were bulging. He charged at Li Jinwei and gave him a kick. Li Jinwei dodged and Kamita villager landed a kick on the wooden pillar behind Li Jinwei. Suddenly, the wooden pillar that was as thick as a human exploded into pieces. Li Jinwei's pupils shrunk. He was shocked. This kid knows some kung fu. Bang! 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 The sound of explosions could be heard on the stage. The 2 of them were like bulldozers, destroying the wooden stage. Such a shocking scene left everyone dumbfounded. This is a real expert. He is much stronger than the Wushu, Sanda, and MMA champions from 2 days ago. It was unknown just how many people were sighing in admiration. They were greatly alarmed, feeling dizzy as they watched. Chapter 71. So, this is what the world really looks like. I am just a frog at the bottom of a well. Lu Biao was sitting behind Lu Jinrong. Her face was pale, but her eyes glinted with excitement. I had never thought that Japanese karate could be so powerful. Ye Gufeng exclaimed. Behind him, Qiu Gong bowed and explained, Master Feng, this is ancient karate, also known as Tang Shou. It evolved from Sanzhou that was passed down from China's Tang dynasty to East Asia. It is no longer an ordinary competition, and its killing power is shocking. Oh! If you master it to the extreme, you will be able to generate energy that could rival a transcendent grandmaster. Qiu Gong said. What if you can defeat him? Ye Gufeng asked with a smile. If I make a move, I can kill him within 10 moves. Duke Qiu straightened his back, his face full of pride. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of punches and kicks filled the air. The battle between Li Jinwei and Kamita villager had reached its climax. Suddenly, Li Jinwei threw a punch at Kamita villager, and 8 overlapping shadows appeared in the air. Kamita villager couldn't withstand the attack. He screamed and fell off the stage. Blood spurted out of his mouth. Master Li won. Zhou Zhenghao cheered. Dragon Fifth nodded in satisfaction. He cupped his fists and said, Thank you, Master Li. But on the stage, Li Jinwei forced a smile and wiped off his cold sweat. This Gue Tian villager is really strong. If it wasn't for Grandmaster Zhang's guidance, I wouldn't be his opponent with my original cultivation. Motherfucker, you guys just won by luck. What kind of ability is that? Lu Zikuan scolded in exasperation. Ah, Kun, don't be rash. If you're not as skilled as others, then you have to admit defeat. Ye Gufeng glared at him and then said, From now on, let Lord Dragon Fifth and Little Zhou take over the market in Tianshui town. Ha ha ha. Awesome. Zhou Zhenghao was overjoyed. He was going to be rich. How can you call yourself a master when you are so weak? There is no one in Jiangbei who can defeat you. Suddenly, an untimely voice came up. Yang Kuanpeng shook his head disdainfully. As soon as he said that, he scolded the entire Jiang Bei. Yang Kuanpeng, you're really crazy. Didn't you invite some expert from overseas? Why didn't I see it? Lu Zikuan immediately turned the muzzle and began to angrily attack Yang Kuanpeng. Yeah, the men behind you are nothing more than retired special forces martial arts athletes. How can they be compared with Master Li Jinwei? Zhou Zhenghao also laughed disdainfully. Ha, how can trash like Li Jinwei compare to the expert I invited? Yang Kuanpeng slammed the table and stood up. He cupped his fists towards the sky and said, "Welcome, Grandmaster Xing Shanhu. Welcome, Grandmaster Xing Shanhu. Welcome, Grandmaster Xing Shanhu." Behind him, more than a dozen tycoons and bodyguards cupped their fists towards the sky, their faces full of reverence. Everyone turned around in shock. Only then did he realize that a helicopter had already arrived and hovered 100 meters above the ground. He even brought experts over. Everyone was shocked. The door of the helicopter opened, and a majestic figure appeared. However, the distance was too far, and his appearance could not be seen clearly. What is he going to do? Why didn't he lower the rope ladder? Everyone on the deck was confused. At this moment, the figure jumped down from a height of 100 meters. In the next second, a loud bang was heard. It was so loud that it hurt everyone's eardrums. Dust billowed from the giant ring. The entire deck trembled as if there was an earthquake. Countless pieces of wood were sent flying in all directions. Ah, Yang Kuanpeng, what happened to the expert you invited? Did he commit suicide? Lu Zikuan slammed the table and laughed. Yang Kuanpeng didn't even look at him. He only looked at the ring with reverence and anticipation. Suddenly, Qiu Gong let out a scream. He is not dead. As the dust settled, a dignified figure appeared on the stage. He was about 35 years old. He was wearing a training outfit and looked extremely tall and majestic. Is he still a human? Many people were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe their eyes, and their hearts almost jumped out of their chests. How strong must his body be to be able to jump from 100 meters above the ground without any protective gear? Li Jinwei's face changed drastically. He said in a trembling voice, he jumped from 100 meters above the ground. I am afraid he has reached the transcendent state. Such a feat would require a strong wind to protect his body. Otherwise, he would be crushed into a pile of meat. A transcendent state grandmaster was considered a grandmaster of martial arts. They were all overlords of a region. Let me see what Master Li is capable of. On the ring, Xing Shanhu let out a proud smile and said. On the grandstand, Yang Kuanpeng glared at Dragon Fifth and said, Lord Dragon Fifth, if you lose, you will give me Lin Zhou City's territory. If I lose, I will give you Zhonghai's Jing and district. This is troublesome. Where is Master Kong? Master Kong said that his wife couldn't bear to see the bloody scene, so they went to play cards together. Zhou Zhenghao's face paled. He didn't expect Yang Kuanpeng's subordinate to be so powerful. According to the rules of the challenge tournament, the challenger had to accept the challenge. If he didn't accept the challenge, it would be tantamount to surrendering. Please. Li Jinwei cupped his fists again. Although he was shocked, he still had the heart to pursue martial arts. His opponent had ignited his courage. You go first. Xing Shanhu's face was filled with arrogance. He linked his hands behind his back and stood still. Li Jinwei was enraged by Xing Shanhu's behavior. He let out a roar and charged toward Xing Shanhu. He was one of the top 3 martial arts masters in Lingnan. How could he be humiliated like this? He threw out a punch that was filled with internal force. This was the 8-layer wave fist force taught by Jiang Tian. Very well, Li Jinwei used some kind of secret art. This punch is as powerful as a transcendent state master. Qiu Gong nodded approvingly. Yi Gufeng's eyes narrowed as he fixed his gaze on Xing Shanhu. When Li Jinwei was right in front of him, Xing Shanhu suddenly gave a side kick, his long leg lashing out like a whip. Pa! This kick, which was launched later, arrived first. It swept directly on Li Junwei's neck, and the latter was instantly sent flying like a rag doll. Li Junwei spat out a mouthful of blood. When he landed on the ground, he was already unconscious. Xing Shanhu had defeated Li Junwei with a single kick. Zhou Zhenghao rose to his feet and asked incredulously, Master Li lost? It looks like Xing Shanhu is even more powerful than Fu Biao. Dragon Fifth's face was ashen as he mumbled to himself. Hee, Dragon Fifth, you have lost the bet. Lin Zhou's territory is mine now. Yang Kuanpeng laughed arrogantly. Dragon Fifth was dejected and nodded reluctantly. Zhou Zhenghao sat down on the sofa and said angrily, It is a shame that Master Kong is not here. If Master Kong is here, I will take back my territory. He only used 30% of his power. Maybe he wanted to recruit Li Junwei, that's why he went easy on him. Qiu Gong's pupils contracted as his face was filled with shock. If he had used all of his power, Li Junwei would have died. Yi Gufeng was still in shock. Suddenly, Xing Shanhu scanned the audience and shouted, Who else dares to come up the stage and fight with me? The audience was dead silent. Xing Shanhu had leaped 100 meters into the air and kicked Li Junwei away. His power was unfathomable. Who would dare to challenge him? Is there no one else? If no one dares to challenge me, then from now on, the 3 cities of Jiangbei will listen to my orders. Yang Kuanpeng rose to his feet and glared at Yi Gufeng. He was not the only one. Everyone was looking at Yi Gufeng, the most powerful tycoon in Jiangbei. Yi Gufeng heaved a sigh and said, Qiu Gong, I am afraid that you will have to fight this time. Qiu Gong cupped his fists and said, Lord Feng, you have taken me in for many years. Today, I will defeat this bastard even if I have to die. As he spoke, he leaped into the air, somersaulted in the air, and landed lightly on the stage. Bravo! Nice! Immediately, there was a burst of cheers. Lu Biao clicked her tongue and exclaimed, This old man looks like he is in his 60s. His hair is silver, but he is so agile. He is so powerful. Xing Shanhu's face turned serious when he saw Qiu Gong. Peak of internal force. It's not bad to have this level of cultivation. You seem to be using the Yuan family's great ape fist. How are you related to Yuan Rusong? Qiu Gong was taken aback. You know the Yuan family's lord? The Yuan family used to be a famous martial arts family. However, 20 years ago, they had offended the Big Circle gang and were annihilated by Lin Zhenyu. Qiu Gong was the only one who managed to escape. He was taken in by Yi Gufeng and became his most powerful fighter. But this secret history was rarely known, and very few people recognized his great ape fist. 20 years ago, I came to Huaxia and met Yuan Rusong. He was killed by my Shifu. Xing Shanhu said proudly. How is that possible? Qiu Gong couldn't believe it. Who is your Shifu? Lin Zhenyu of the Big Circle gang. As soon as he said this, the entire crowd was horrified. Lin Zhenyu's name was unknown to most people. However, the #1 overseas Chinese society, the Big Circle gang, was known by everyone. The Big Circle gang was founded in the 60s and had half a century of history. It had hundreds of thousands of members and countless powerful fighters. Its branches were spread all over the world and its wealth was immeasurable. Compared to such a global gang, the tycoons of Jiangbei were nothing. Even the most powerful Yi Gufeng from Donghai was nothing in front of the Big Circle gang. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, Xing Shanhu. He is the Lord Tiger from Las Vegas. Oh my God! He is the Lord Tiger from Las Vegas. Some tycoons who knew about the Big Circle gang exclaimed. Rumor had it that this Lord Tiger was very famous in the Chinese world. He owned several luxurious casinos and hotels in Las Vegas and New York. Moreover, he was highly skilled in martial arts and was ruthless. Even if the Italian mafia met him, they would have to retreat. How could the country bumpkins from Jiangbei compare to such a powerful tycoon? You are Lin Jianyu's disciple. Qiu Gong was shocked. Chapter 72. Lord Feng, who is Lin Jianyu? Is he really that powerful? Even Qiu Gong was defeated by him. Lu Zikuan said indignantly. The most powerful fighter in the Great Circle. 20 years ago, he defeated 7 grandmasters in Hua Xia. Yi Gufeng's face was already ashen. He said in a trembling voice, in the end, the leader of the dragon group, Yi Zhantian, stepped in and suppressed him. He forced him to swear that he would never set foot in Huaxia again. Yi Zhantian, the god of war. Lu Zikuan was speechless after hearing the name. This kind of person was like a dragon or phoenix in the sky. People like them in the Jianghu could only look up. That's right. After that battle, Yi Zhantian became famous and founded the Huaxia Long Formation. Yi Gufeng looked into the distance and sighed. Sigh. No wonder Yang Kuanpeng is so arrogant. He has the support of the Great Circle. While they were talking, the outcome of the battle had been decided. Qiu Gong could only last 3 moves before he was sent flying off the stage by Xing Shanhu, vomiting blood non-stop. Fortunately, Xing Shanhu had come here to reclaim his territory and not for vengeance. That was why he had shown mercy. Otherwise, Duke Qiu would have died. Do you still want to fight? Xing Shanhu stood in the arena with his hands behind his back. His imposing gaze swept across Yi Gufeng, who was in the spectator stands. Yi Gufeng's hands, which were tightly gripping the armrest, trembled. The muscles on his cheeks twitched violently. He lowered his head and remained silent for a full 3 minutes. Then, with a face full of humiliation and unwillingness, he said in a low voice, "We admit defeat." Mighty Lord Feng. Yang Kuanpeng raised his arms and stood with his hands on his waist. He laughed and said, "From now on, Jiangbei will obey my command." The heroes of Jiangbei were all dejected and depressed. Their hearts were filled with sorrow. That was how the Jianghu worked. Every generation, there would be new talents and new overlords. Yi Gufeng had dominated the Jiangbei region for many years, but he could only admit defeat when he met Yang Kuanpeng, the powerful dragon that crossed the river. I don't accept this. Suddenly, Zhou Zhenghao stood up and said angrily, "It's not over yet. We still have Master Kong. Little Zhou, don't force yourself. You can't do it." Seeing Xing Shanhu's stern expression and overflowing killing intent, Yi Gufeng hurriedly spoke up to stop him. Li Jinwei had already been defeated. What other trump cards did Dragon 5th and Zhou Zhenghao have? Only death awaited him if he angered Xing Shanhu. Xing Shanhu waved his hand and said, "What bullshit, Master Kong? Where is he? Come out. Don't be disrespectful to Master Kong. Master Kong can summon the wind, summon the rain, and control lightning. Compared to him, you are far inferior." Long Yi angrily shouted with a dignified face. "I'll call him. Wait for me." Zhou Zhenghao was sweating profusely as he hurriedly called Jiang Tian. In the casino in the cabin. Business was very bad today. There were only a few gamblers, but most of them had gone to the deck to watch the tournament. Jiang Tian, it's too boring for us to keep winning. Boxing is still better. Zhao Xueqing said disinterestedly after winning another 10,000 yuan. That tournament is very bloody. You might be traumatized if you watch it. Jiang Tian shook his head and said with a smile. I know you are a martial arts expert. Don't you want to watch it? Zhao Xueqing said with a smile. What's there to watch? I'm going there. I'm going to fight. Do you think you'll be scared? Jiang Tian said lightly. You're the one who wants to fight, right? Zhao Xueqing rolled her eyes and said with a smile, Are the tycoons of Jiangbei going to ask you to fight? At this moment, Zhou Zhenghao called and said anxiously, Master Kong, come quickly. Master Li has lost. Jiang Bei is going to be taken over by someone else. Let's go. Let's bet on me later. I'll make you a few million. Jiang Tian hung up the phone and patted Zhao Xueqing's shoulder. He smiled and stood up. On the grandstand, Zhou Zhenghao made the call and immediately said, Grandmaster Jiang will be here soon. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, everyone waited anxiously. 15 minutes had passed, but the legendary Master Kong still hadn't shown up. What Master Kong? I bet he is scared away. Huanhai Real Estate's chairman Zhao said with dissatisfaction. Looks like he doesn't live up to his reputation. We have been fooled. Sigh. We have given him so many benefits, but he is too scared to show up. What a waste. Many tycoons of Linzhou City shook their heads and heaved a sigh. Alas, at this juncture, what hope do I still have? Xing Shanhu is an initial transcendent state fighter. If he can even defeat Lord Qiu, who else in Jiang Bei can stop him? Ye Gufeng shook his head and let out a wry smile. He hated himself for being so naive. What Master Kong? He is just bluffing. Who do you think he is? Come on stage if you have the guts. Xing Shanhu was getting impatient. He stood on the stage with his arms akimbo and shouted arrogantly. He is just a piece of trash. How can he be compared to my Lord Hu? I'm afraid they've already been scared witless by our Tiger Lord's might and jumped into the sea to escape. Are you talking to me? Suddenly, with a soft shout, a tall and imposing figure walked out of the casino's entrance. Everyone turned around and saw Jiang Tian holding Zhao Xueqing's hand as they slowly walked into the arena. Jiang Tian? Isn't that the lunatic Jiang Tian? How could he be Grandmaster Jiang? Lu Baiyao stood up. She was dumbstruck and couldn't believe it. Jiang Tian, are you really going to fight? It is too dangerous. Zhao Xueqing tugged at Jiang Tian's sleeve and begged. He had killed people in the previous 2 days, but today's fight was the most dangerous. It was too scary. Jiang Tian, what are you doing here? Didn't you go to gamble? Yi Ziwei saw Jiang Tian slowly walking over as if he was going to go on stage. She couldn't believe it and immediately stood up to stop him. Oh no, this lunatic wants to die. Stay away from him. Don't let Lord Hu vent his anger on us. If he wants to die, then let him die. Don't let him have anything to do with us. Xue Feiyang, Lu Jinrong, and the other nobles were scared out of their wits when Jiang Tian walked over. The crowd dispersed like the tide, afraid that they would be caught in the crossfire. Xueqing, don't worry. Jiang Tian stopped and gently looked at Zhao Xueqing's tearful eyes. He smiled and said, I said that I will protect you for the rest of your life. For you, I will be famous. I don't want you to be famous, I just want you to be safe. Zhao Xueqing was so anxious that she was about to cry. Yeah, little Tian, you have never learned martial arts. You can't do this kind of cruel fight. Yi Ziwei rushed to Jiang Tian's side and pulled on his sleeve. She said anxiously and worriedly. Jiang Tian, what are you doing? Get down. Yi Gufeng didn't care about his status anymore. He shouted at the top of his lungs. His face was pale with anger. In order to prove himself, this kid wanted to fight with Lord Hu. Wasn't he looking for death? If he died, it wouldn't be a pity, but his daughter would blame him for the rest of her life. Master Kong, you are here. Master Kong. Master Kong. Seeing Jiang Tian appear, Tang Wannian, Dragon Fifth, Zhou Zhenghao, Zheng Guangsha, and the other tycoons of Linzhou City were excited. They stood up and bowed. His momentum was astonishing, and his aura soared into the sky. Sister Weiwei, now you should believe that I have the strength to fight with that kid, right? Jiang Tian smiled faintly, shook off the 2 girls, and walked slowly to the stage. Jiang Tian, get down. What are you doing? Yi Gufeng shouted again. He was so anxious that he slammed the table. Didn't you hear them call me Master Kong? Jiang Tian's expression was calm as he looked at Yi Gufeng and smiled warmly. Why are the tycoons of Lin Zhou so respectful to him? What kind of Master Kong is he? Yi Gufeng thought of this and was puzzled. However, Jiang Tian was already on the stage, and he couldn't stop him even if he wanted to. How can this kid be Master Kong? Many people thought the same as Yi Gufeng. They thought that Dragon Fifth and the others were crazy. A martial Dao master was at least 50 or 60 years old. A white beard was standard. Why was there only a young man in his early 20s on the stage? Isn't this the son-in-law of the Zhao family, Crazy Jiang? He must be crazy to come here to die. Especially the tycoons of Lin Zhou who knew Jiang Tian but didn't know his strength, they were even more disappointed. It seemed that Lin Zhou was going to lose, so they pulled out a reckless lunatic in a hurry to hold on. Ha, what kind of bullshit Master Kong is this? So he's a lunatic. This kind of trash isn't worthy of Lord Hu fighting. Go eat shit. Yang Kuanpeng heard the discussion and laughed with a face full of mockery. He even threatened, after I kill you, I'll take turns with your women. So he's a lunatic. But I haven't killed anyone today. In order to make an example and subdue them, I'll let this lunatic die. He's just a lunatic, so I'll kill him. On the stage, Xing Shanhu crossed his arms and looked at Jiang Tian with a murderous look in his eyes. Jiang Tian didn't have the aura of a martial arts expert at all. He was just an ordinary person. However, Xing Shanhu was a martial artist and had a ruthless heart. He already wanted to kill. It's all my fault, all my fault. He only went on stage because he wanted to prove himself to me. At this moment, Zhao Xueqing was also regretting her decision. Tears fell like rain. She had only seen Jiang Tian catch ghosts and thought that Jiang Tian only knew a little about spells. When it came to fighting to the death, he might not be that good. What do we do? What do we do? Something's going to happen to little Tian. Yi Ziwei was also panicking. She was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. She had been there the entire time. She knew very well how dangerous and scary tonight's competition was. Jiang Tian didn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. What was the difference between going up against someone as scary as Xing Shanhu? She ran behind Yi Gufeng and said with a sobbing tone, Dad, think of a way to stop Lord Hu. I'll listen to you and cut ties with the Jiang family immediately. Wei Wei, it's too late. Yi Gufeng let out a long sigh and said helplessly, that Xing Shanhu is determined to kill. He wants to use bloody means to suppress Jiang Bei. Now, there's no one here who can stop him. But I can't just watch him die. If he dies, I can only die with him. Yi Ziwei heard that and 2 streams of hot tears rolled down her cheeks. On the stage, Xing Shanhu looked at Jiang Tian with disdain and said coldly, You have no cultivation, but since you dare to go on stage, you should know that you will be killed. I will not go easy on you. I need you to go easy on me and use your full strength, right? Even if your Sifu is here, I can kill him with a flick of my finger. Jiang Tian stood there lazily with his hands behind his back, looking disdainful. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. Many people looked at Jiang Tian as if they were looking at an idiot, not daring to believe it. Chapter 73. This Jiang Tian is really so crazy that no medicine can cure him. If Lord Tiger is already so powerful, how powerful is his master? How dare he spout such nonsense? Lu Biao was shocked at first, but then she shook her head and heaved a sigh. She looked at Jiang Tian as if he was an idiot. Let him die. He dared to hit me yesterday. Xue Feiyang gloated. Sigh, you don't know what's good for you. Boasting shamelessly, you don't understand the situation. Lu Jinrong shook his head and said sarcastically, Does he think he can do whatever he wants just because he is a friend of Princess Yi? Can't he see that this is a battle of life and death? Xing Shanhu can even defeat Lord Feng. This time, no one can save him. Kid, you are courting death. On the stage, Xing Shanhu was enraged by Qin Fan's words. He glared at Qin Fan and shouted. His master, Lin Zhenyu, was the most powerful fighter in the Great Circle and a transcendent grandmaster. However, this arrogant kid dared to belittle his master, which made Lin Zhenyu furious. In the next second, he darted forward and appeared in front of Jiang Tian in a blink. He threw a punch at Jiang Tian's chest like a cannonball. The punch was so powerful that it tore through the air and created a gust of wind. The true Qi formed a translucent fist that was powerful enough to punch a hole in an armored vehicle. Sigh. How am I going to explain this to Ziwei? Ye Gufeng heaved a sigh and closed his eyes. It was as if Jiang Tian was going to be smashed into a pulp in the next second. Jiang Tian, watch out! Zhao Xueqing and Yi Ziwei shouted at the same time. They were so nervous that their hearts were about to jump out of their chests. Hee, you have achieved initial transcendent state, right? Is this all you can do? Jiang Tian didn't even flinch. He slowly raised both of his hands and drew a line in the air with his fingers. Swish! A wind blade formed in the air and sliced through the Qi fist like a hot knife through butter. It then went straight for Xing Shanhu's chest. Qi condensation weapon. Phenomenal success. Seeing this, Xing Shanhu was so shocked that his soul almost left his body. Without thinking, he stomped on the ground and jumped back. His fist of Qi was extremely heavy, and could crack metal and stone. It was indestructible, but this brat actually managed to condense a wind blade and easily cut through it. Crack! The wind blade slashed onto the stage. Suddenly, a 1-meter-long crack appeared. It was a shocking sight, and the incision was as smooth as a mirror. What kind of method is this? After waking up, Duke Qiu, who was sitting behind Yi Gufeng, screamed in his heart. His eyes were wide open. Jiang Tian seemed to have condensed into a wind blade or a blade of air. He instantly broke through Xing Shanhu's air fist and left a terrifying hole in the arena. How is that possible? A transcendent master has appeared in Lin Zhou. Xing Shanhu screamed in his mind. He was only an initial transcendent state cultivator. If he encountered a phenomenal transcendent state cultivator, he would be dead meat. Without thinking, he used his body art and leaped into the air. Like a gust of wind, he flew over the heads of the audience and dashed toward the helicopter that had landed on the deck. Sigh, it's too late for you to run away now. Jiang Tian sneered. His jade-white right hand slowly clenched into a fist and punched towards Xing Shanhu, who was running wildly. Mountain-shattering fist. Suddenly, a golden fist the size of a millstone materialized in the air. Like a missile, it shot toward Xing Shanhu. Wherever the giant fist passed, a gust of wind blew and formed an ear-piercing screech. A terrifying crack that was dozens of meters long appeared in the stands from the beginning to the end. Countless spectators were thrown off their feet and cried out in alarm. Oh my God! Is this still Kung Fu? Everyone present cried out in surprise. Even Yi Gufeng and Duke Qiu stood up, their faces full of shock. What is this? Xing Shanhu heard the ghostly howl behind him and turned around. His eyes reflected the image of a fist that was getting bigger and bigger. It was too late for him to dodge. Arg! He forcefully activated it and circulated his energy to resist. The bones in his entire body expanded, his blood vessels expanded, his muscles bulged, and his skin turned dark green like iron. His entire body swelled up, and he turned into a 2-meter-tall giant. Initial transcendent state and 13 guardians Heng Kung Fu. Not even a machine gun could kill him. Duke Qiu's eyes widened in shock. He had reached the transcendent state and was invincible with the help of the transcendent state. Bang! The giant fist traveled over 200 meters and landed squarely on Xing Shanhu's body. His mighty body was shattered into pieces as blood gushed out from the wound. The giant fist pushed Xing Shanhu into the air like a scarecrow and smashed into the helicopter. Crack! Crack! The helicopter weighed over a few thousand pounds and was pushed back 5 meters by the giant fist. The rubber tires rubbed against the deck and made a strange noise. Black smoke billowed out of the helicopter. The body of the helicopter shook violently as if it was in the middle of a hurricane. Oh my God! He formed a fist and pushed it 100 meters. A transcendent master. A transcendent master. Duke Qiu was so shocked that he jumped to his feet. Jiang Tian's first attack was a meter-long wind blade. It was so fast that Duke Qiu couldn't see it clearly. But this time, he saw it clearly. Jiang Tian condensed a millstone-like giant fist and pushed it 200 meters away, shaking the earth and the mountains. If this was not a master-level master, then what was? Hehe, you claim to have reached initial transcendent state. I thought you would be able to withstand 3 attacks, but you only managed to withstand 2. On the stage, Jiang Tian linked his hands behind his back and shook his head in disappointment. I had never thought that there would be a transcendent master in Linzhou. I don't regret dying in the hands of a transcendent master. Xing Shanhu said with a half-smile and half-sob. When the giant fist dissipated, Xing Shanhu had been reduced to a pile of meat. Blood spurted out of his mouth like an arrow as he fell to the ground and closed his eyes. He was dead. Jiang Tian's punch had shattered all of his bones and internal organs, and all of his meridians had been broken. Being able to say the last sentence was already the full support of his 30 years of hard work. Xing Shanhu, the leader of the Las Vegas branch of the Big Circle Gang and the disciple of Lin Zhenyu, was dead. A deadly silence fell over the audience. He is so powerful. Is he still human? Could it be that this is the reason he can ignore me? Lu Biao was scared out of her wits. Her eyes were wide open and her face was pale. She screamed in her mind. He is so powerful. No wonder he dared to hit me yesterday. If he hadn't shown mercy, I would have been dead by now. Having brushed past the god of death, Xue Feiyang was so scared that his whole body was trembling non-stop. Cold sweat poured down, instantly drenching his clothes. What should I do? I must ask Master Feng to ask my dad to help me. Lu Jinrong was terrified and regretted his decision. He wanted to slap himself a few times to vent his anger. Just based on his appearance, he still dared to think about Grandmaster Zhang's woman. He must be tired of living. Sigh. I offended him 2 days ago. What should I do now? Even Xue Mingyi was terrified. Yang Kuanpeng was so scared that he collapsed on the sofa. His eyes were filled with despair. Even Xing Shanhu was dead. Who else could stop Master Kong? Husband, he is so powerful. Is he telling the truth? Did he really cultivate for 10,000 years and come back to life? Zhao Xueqing covered her mouth. She was so happy and excited that tears had already blurred her vision. Little Tian, he won. How did he become so powerful? Yi Ziwei was also crying tears of joy. We won. We won. Master Kong is invincible. No one can stop him. Dragon the Fifth, Zhou Zhenghao and the other elites of Lin Zhou City were exhilarated. He is not even 30 years old, but he is already a transcendent grandmaster. He can create wind blades and punch 200 meters away. He can kill a Chinese tycoon and shake a helicopter. No wonder he didn't care about our threats. In the face of such a godlike figure, the big families of Jinling were nothing. What's the big deal about my little loan? Ye Gufeng stood there with a blank look on his face. He looked at the young man on the stage with a calm face, but his heart was in turmoil. He couldn't help but remember the conversation he had with Jiang Tian 2 days ago. At that time, he thought Jiang Tian was arrogant, but now he realized that he was just a frog at the bottom of a well. With such power, Chen Fan could easily defeat Hua Xia. Even he, a powerful tycoon in the East China Sea, could only look up to him. In fact, not only Ye Gufeng, but everyone else at the scene also had the same thought. The audience was silent. Everyone was shocked and fearful at the same time. They lowered their heads and bowed to Jiang Tian as if they were in awe of the demon god. Jiang Tian stood on the stage with a calm expression on his face. There was not the slightest ripple in his heart. Back then, he had swept through the starry skies, devouring the sun and moon, intimidating an entire era. He had killed countless old demons and giant monsters, and a single finger could split the heavens and shatter a planet with a single punch. To others, Xing Shanhu was a Chinese tycoon and the leader of the Big Circle gang. However, in Jiang Tian's eyes, he was nothing. Now that he had reached the Qi refinement level, he could easily kill a normal Transcendent Grandmaster, let alone a veteran Transcendent Grandmaster. Even if Lin Zhenyu was here, he would not be afraid. However, he was worried that Zhao Xueqing would not be able to accept his cruelty. He looked up and saw Zhao Xueqing holding Yi Ziwei's hand and jumping around excitedly. They were talking and laughing. "Ha, this little girl is quite brave." Jiang Tian was relieved and shook his head with a smile. Seeing the smile on Jiang Tian's face, Yang Kuanpeng felt that he had a trace of humanity, and not that terrifying demon god. His face turned pale as he begged in a trembling voice. "Master Kong, please let me go. We are just fighting in the Jianghu, there is no grudge between us." "Let you go? Didn't you say that you would harm my woman after you killed me?" Jiang Tian smiled coldly. Jiang Tian was not afraid of being targeted, but he would never allow anyone to harm his loved ones and friends. He had been a cultivator for thousands of years and had been worried about them all the time. How could he allow such a scumbag to threaten him? "Don't worry, Master Kong. I will take care of him for you." Ghost Kick knew that Jiang Tian would not be able to kill him in the presence of Zhao Xueqing, so he immediately made his move. With a wave of his hand, a coin flew through the air and pierced through Yang Kuanpeng's head in an instant. Chapter 74. Yang Kuanpeng's eyes were wide open as a bloody hole appeared on his forehead. He slowly slid down from the sofa and sat on the floor. His eyes were wide open as he breathed his last. "Ghost Kick, an internal force martial arts master. It's you." Qiu Gong finally noticed that the man who followed Jiang Tian like a shadow was a martial arts master who had lived in seclusion for many years. Even Ghost Kick, a martial arts master who had been famous for decades, was willing to serve as Jiang Tian's servant. How powerful was he? Yang Kuanpeng's men were already intimidated by Jiang Tian's power. "Master Kong, please spare my life. Master Kong, please spare my life." Their master was killed, and they didn't have the slightest intention to fight back. Instead, they dropped their weapons and knelt on the floor. Jiang Tian didn't even bother to look at them. He walked up to Zhao Xueqing and held her hand. He smiled gently and said, "Qing'er, were you scared just now?" "It's okay, honey. You are amazing. What kind of skill is that? Can you teach me later?" Zhao Xueqing was so excited that she jumped up and down. Her face was filled with admiration. "If you want to learn, of course, no problem." Jiang Tian was impressed by the girl's ability to accept things. He smiled and said, "It's okay, let's go back. Sister Weiwei, let's go together." Yi Ziwei quickly nodded. She had so many questions to ask Jiang Tian. Jiang Tian glanced at Yi Gufeng and smiled faintly. "I heard that Mr. Yi has offered a lot of heavenly materials for the challenge tournament. Don't forget to give them to me later." Seeing that Jiang Tian was about to leave with the two girls, Yi Gufeng panicked. He suddenly stood up and shouted, "Master Kong, please wait." "What? Do you still want to challenge me?" Jiang Tian stopped and asked with a frown. "I wouldn't dare." Yi Gufeng was shocked. He hurriedly cupped his fists and bowed. "Grandmaster Jiang, it's all thanks to you that we managed to turn the tide and defeat the enemy. Otherwise, our Jiangbei would have fallen into the enemy's hands." With a respectful expression, he said solemnly, "From now on, the 3 cities of Jiangbei will follow Master Kang's orders. If you have any orders, we will go through fire and water without hesitation. Hearing these words, Lu Zikuan was the first to react. He stood up like a spring on his butt, bowed and cupped his fists. Master Kong, Dog Face Kuan is willing to listen to your orders and follow you for life. Master Kong. Master Kong. Dragon the Fifth, Zhou Zhenghao, Xue Mingyi and other tycoons of Jiangbei scrambled to their feet and bowed deeply to Jiang Tian. As for Lu Jinrong, Xue Feiyang and the other young talents, they wished they could kneel on the ground and worship Jiang Tian. Today, they finally witnessed a martial artist's magical powers and understood what a true powerhouse was. Money and power were useless in this society where only the strong could take all. Those martial Dao experts could take whatever they wanted, but they had to rely on Jiang Tian, this expert, to be their backer. Oh my God! What a glorious moment! Seeing Yi Gufeng, Lu Zikuan and the other tycoons bowed to Jiang Tian, Lu Biao's face was filled with excitement and regret. Originally, she had the opportunity to choose and approach Jiang Tian, but she missed it time and time again. Now that Jiang Tian had dominated Jiangbei, Lu Jinrong and Xue Feiyang were like ants compared to Jiang Tian. No. No. It should be said that they didn't have the qualifications to be compared with Jiang Tian. One was in the sky while the other was on the ground. If he had accepted Jiang Tian back then, or if he hadn't made their relationship so tense, he would be the one standing beside Jiang Tian now. How would Zhao Xueqing stand a chance? I am not interested. Just give me a few of your prizes. Jiang Tian glanced at Zhao Xueqing and waved his hand lazily. Why didn't Master Kong agree? Is it because Xue Feiyang and Lu Jinrong offended Master Kong? These two bastards must have their legs broken. Yi Gufeng and the others were panicking. Jiang Tian had finally appeared in Jiangbei, but he was unwilling to lead them. No way. Master Kong is not someone like us. Why would he care about us? Lu Jinrong and Xue Feiyang's faces turned pale. Honey, why are you looking at me like that? Zhao Xueqing rolled her eyes at Jiang Tian. Yi Ziwei, on the other hand, pulled Zhao Xueqing's sleeve and said, Qinger, let Jiang Tian accept it. The Jiang family is in danger now. Jiang Tian must have a team. Ah. Is he asking for my opinion? Zhao Xueqing was so happy that her heart almost melted. Jiang Tian was still considering her opinion on such an important matter. She quickly whispered into Jiang Tian's ear. Jiang Tian, you are so powerful. I believe in your decision. Your career is the most important. Only then did Jiang Tian nod and say, all right, then I won't leave first. Let's talk slowly later. Soon, the rich and famous on the deck dispersed. In the hall on the top floor of the cabin, the celebrity banquet of the 3 cities of Jiangbei began. Master Kong, I heard that the Medicine King Group is expanding and needs funds. My brothers in Donghai, Jiang Zhou, and Lin Zhou have prepared 2 billion in funds. Please accept it. In a private room, Yi Gufeng respectfully handed over a check and spoke with a face full of joy. Yes, Master Kong. Please accept it. It is a small token of our appreciation. Lu Zikuan, Dragon the Fifth, Zheng Guangsha, and the others echoed. That was the effect of strength. Before this, the Jiang family had difficulty raising a few 100 million. Now, the other party had given them more than 1 billion. Yi Ziwei, who was standing at the side, was deeply moved. Seeing Jiang Tian nod his head, she quickly accepted it. Jiang Tian said lightly, Mr. Yi and everyone, consider it a loan. I will repay it tenfold in the future. Master Kong, we are a family. There is no distinction between us. Yi Gufeng said with a smile. It was only 2 billion. If it was spread out among a dozen top tycoons, each person would only spend 100 to 300 million. So what if it was given to Jiang Tian for free? As long as it could curry favor with Jiang Tian, it was worth it. Money is a small matter. What I need are cultivation resources. Jiang Tian sighed softly. Master Kong, please wait for a moment. Yi Gufeng instructed in a low voice. Immediately, Lu Zikuan went out. When he returned, he was followed by a few men in black. Each of them carried a wooden box and placed it on the tea table. Master Kong, these are some of the things I collected over the past few days. See if they are to your liking. Yi Gufeng said with a smile. After opening the box, Jiang Tian shook his head in disappointment. Some old ginseng and knotweed might be worth a lot in the secular world, but they were not the materials he needed to set up a spirit-gathering array. Suddenly, Jiang Tian was attracted by a piece of black metal in the box. He said in shock, "This is gunmetal iron essence. How did you get it?" "Oh, this is a meteorite from outer space. I got it from an antique market." "No wonder." Jiang Tian nodded, his eyes flashing. Gunmetal iron essence was a metal element material needed to set up a spirit-gathering array. But according to his master, this material had never appeared on Earth. It could only have fallen from outer space. Yi Gufeng frowned and said, "Master Kong, the radiation from this meteorite is very strong. It is usually stored in a lead box. Is it useful?" "It is." Jiang Tian's face finally showed a long-lost smile. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, Jiang Tian had already gathered the materials for the three elements of metal, fire, and water. He was only missing the two elements of wood and earth. Jiang Tian sighed again and said, "This is not enough. However, this is far from enough. Do you know where I can find even more heavenly treasures?" Hearing this, everyone fell silent and looked embarrassed. They were just rich people in the secular world. If they knew one or two martial artists, they would be proud. As for cultivation resources, they rarely came across them. Duke Qiu had taken a pill given by Jiang Tian. He had recovered about 80%, and he admired Jiang Tian from the bottom of his heart. Hearing this, he quickly bowed and said, "Master Kong, do you know about the elixir exchange that is held once every 5 years in the cultivation world?" "I have not heard of it." "Tell me about it," Jiang Tian said. Duke Qiu was greatly astonished. Jiang Tian's cultivation was so high, so he must have had a very deep understanding of the cultivation world. How come he didn't even know about the famous medicinal pill exchange? However, Duke Qiu did not dare to ask. He quickly said, "The elixir exchange is jointly organized by the Shinnong School, the #1 elixir sect in the cultivation world, and the Hong family of Hubei province. Warriors and masters of sorcery gathered here. The Shinnong sect would sell elixirs or let people exchange them with medicinal materials. It is a grand event for the cultivation world. Many years ago, I attended one with our family lord, Yuan Rusong. Yuan Rusong spent 30 million to buy a chi-gathering elixir. With that elixir, he broke through the bottleneck of the internal force and reached the initial transcendent state. The Shinnong school has a history of over 1,000 years. I think if Master Kong could get in touch with them, he would be able to find something." "Oh, is that so? When will it be held?" Jiang Tian was intrigued. This kind of elixir-making sect usually had wood element heavenly materials and earthly treasures. "In a month. It will be held in Hangzhou." Duke Qiu answered respectfully. "All right then, you'll follow me to Hangzhou when the time comes," Jiang Tian ordered indifferently. "Yes. This old man will be at your beck and call." Duke Qiu's face flushed red with excitement. It was an honor to accompany Master Kong to Hangzhou. Lu Zikuan and Xue Mingyi bowed deeply to each other. "Master Kong, my son offended Master Kong a few days ago. I want him to apologize to you in person." "Very well. Oh right, remember to bring that girl named Lu Biao with you," Jiang Tian said. In a secluded private room, Lu Biao was being berated by Xue Feiyang and Lu Jinrong. "Lu Biao, you have done us in." Lu Jinrong gritted his teeth and his anger soared to the heavens. His eyes were crimson red as he pointed at Lu Biao and scolded, "If you didn't call Grandmaster Jiang a madman, how could I have been so disrespectful to him? This time, I'm finished. Grandmaster Jiang will definitely kill me. If I'm going to die, I'll destroy your Lu clan first." Lu Biao was trembling in fear. She begged with tears in her eyes. "Young Lord Rong, please let me go. I didn't know that Jiang Tian was so powerful. He was just an ordinary man before. I heard that Lu Wangfeng and Wu Chaohui had poisoned him and damaged his brain." Chapter 75. At this moment, she was filled with regret. She did not expect Jiang Tian to be so powerful. He did not seem like a human being at all. "Young Master Rong, why are you still talking to her? Just kill her." Xue Feiyang was in despair. With tears in his eyes, he pulled out a gun and pointed it at Lu Baiyao. He said fiercely, "She must have done this on purpose. Do you think we can still live after offending Master Kong?" Lu Biao was scared out of her wits. She knelt on the ground and cried, "Young Master Rong, young Master Xue, I didn't mean to set you up on purpose. I didn't know. What are you doing? Stop fooling around. Go and apologize to Master Kong. You must be sincere, or no one can save you." Lu Zikuan and Xue Mingyi strode in and scolded, "Oh right, Lu Biao, Master Kong also asked for you. Let's go together." "What? Grandmaster Jiang is also calling me over?" Lu Baiyao was so scared that she felt dizzy and couldn't even stand up. If Jiang Tian wanted to kill her now, no one in Jiangbei would dare to stop him. When Lu Biao arrived at the private room, she saw Jiang Tian sitting in the middle of the spacious sofa. He was playing with a black stone calmly. His face was calm, and he did not look like a fierce and ruthless person at all. As for those famous bigwigs in Jiangbei, who were usually high and mighty in her eyes, they were all standing in front of Jiang Tian, trembling with fear. They were like elementary school students who had made a mistake and met a strict teacher. As soon as Xue Feiyang entered the room, he immediately knelt on the ground and said while trembling, "Master Kong, I was blind before. I have offended you. Please let me go. Master Kong, please spare my life. In the future, I will follow Master Kang's lead and be your lackey." Seeing Xue Feiyang kneel down so neatly, Lu Jinrong secretly hated that this brat's reaction was so fast. He actually kneeled down one step before him, so he quickly knelt down as well. Immediately, he kowtowed as if he was pounding garlic. His forehead hit the floor with a peng-peng sound. It was genuine. "Yes, I'm also willing to be Master Kang's lackey." Lu Zikuan scrambled to shout, tears streaming down his face. "You are merely an ant. How dare you be a dog?" Jiang Tian shook his head in disdain. Even venerable crocodile ancestor, who had swept across the universe and dominated the Yinhua continent, and Emperor Madman, who had swept across the Saint Origin continent, were not qualified to be Kong Teichu's little brother. So, how could these ordinary people catch Jiang Tian's eye? Lu Jinrong and Xue Feiyang's faces stiffened as despair filled their eyes. Lu Biao's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. These two were the #1 young masters in the East Sea and Jiangzhou, but they were not even qualified to be Jiang Tian's lackeys. "Hee, you two coveted my beloved wife's beauty and even threatened to throw me off the cruise. Since you two are young and ignorant, I'll break your legs as a warning to others." Jiang Tian said calmly. "Thank you, Master Kong, for sparing our lives." Lu Zikuan and Xue Mingyi knelt down together in gratitude. If it wasn't for Master Kang's benevolence and magnanimity, you two would already be dead. Ghost Kick's face darkened as he strode forward and kicked each of them twice. Lu Jinrong and Xue Mingyi's legs were broken and they were rolling on the ground in pain. "Master Kong, thank you for your mercy. We are sincerely convinced. In the future, we will be filial to you and mistress." However, they still kept thanking Jiang Tian. "Get out." Jiang Tian waved his hand as if he was shooing away flies. he was too lazy to pay attention to the two of them. After the two of them were helped out of the room, Jiang Tian looked at Lu Biao, whose face was pale and trembling, and said indifferently, Biao, you're not allowed to mention what happened today in Linzhou in the future. Otherwise, I'll exterminate your entire family. Do you understand? Yes, I understand. I won't tell anyone. Lu Biao was so scared that she shivered and replied in a trembling voice. Go. Jiang Tian waved his hand. Even if she was beautiful, he was too lazy to take a second look at her. After that, Jiang Tian was too lazy to socialize and did not attend the cocktail party. Instead, he dragged Zhao Xueqing around the cruise ship. The cruise ship began its return journey. The next day, Jiang Tian said goodbye to Yi Ziwei at the dock. Sister Weiwei, you can take the 2 billion back with you. It will solve your emergency. Jiang Tian said with a smile, but don't tell anyone what happened on the cruise ship. Keep a low profile. Yi Ziwei nodded. She knew that Jiang Tian was no longer her useless brother. He was now a grandmaster. If the news got out, the mastermind behind the 3 major families of Jin City would act in desperation. She hesitated for a second and then asked expectantly, by the way, Jiang Tian, when are you going back to the Jiang family? I will definitely go back, but it is not the right time yet. Jiang Tian's face was filled with murderous intent. If I return, I will turn Jin City upside down. I will destroy Kunlun and sweep across the world like a typhoon. The Jiang family will rule Jin City and conquer Huaxia. I am the master of the vast earth. I shall control the heavens, the earth, the universe. In a courtyard at the Crouching Dragon Villa. Old man Tang had been very anxious lately. Tang Linglong seemed to have entered a meditative state. She had been sitting cross-legged in the middle of the bamboo forest. She had not eaten or drunk anything for the past 5 days. She had not moved at all. A normal person would have reached this state after 3 days of not eating or drinking. However, Tang Linglong's face was calm and her breathing was steady. Based on Tang Guizhu's experience, he was sure that Tang Linglong had entered a meditative state. However, old man Tang was a little excited and a little uneasy. The techniques that Jiang Tian had taught her were very different from normal martial arts techniques. Normal martial artists could only consume spirit herbs and spirit medicines to nourish their bodies. But now, Tang Linglong was swallowing the wind and drinking the dew. She was neither eating nor drinking. It was truly amazing. Father, Linglong is, behind Elder Tang, a man wearing a white shirt and black trousers with a black square face asked worriedly. He was Tang Weiman, the secretary of the Linzhou City Party Committee. He had just returned from the party school training and saw this strange scene. Linglong is trying to comprehend martial arts. She hasn't eaten or drunk anything for 5 days and 5 nights. Tang Guizhu said with a sigh. What? Is something wrong? Tang Weiman was shocked. Something wrong? Something bad is going to happen. Elder Tang was full of vigor and vigor. The Tang family is going to have a true martial arts master. Maybe even a transcendent master. We are going to soar to the top. The Tang family was already a powerful family. With the addition of a martial arts master or transcendent master, they would become one of the most powerful families in Huaxia. What kind of martial arts is she practicing? Tang Weiman asked incredulously. Tang Guizhu had told him that the Tang family's martial arts could only reach the peak of the iron body level. Therefore, old man Tang did not allow him to practice martial arts. Instead, he encouraged him to become an official. She was taught by a martial arts master, Master Kong. Old man Tang has already gone to invite him. You will see him soon. Tang Guizhu said excitedly. Suddenly, Tang Wanyan rushed into the room like a monkey. His face was filled with joy as he gasped for breath. Father! It's a joyous occasion, a joyous occasion. Old man Tang, you are already in your 40s. Why are you still acting like this? Tang Weiman frowned and reprimanded him. He had always looked down on his brother. His brother had always been a glutton and a scammer, bringing shame to the Tang family. Dad, second brother, Master Kong won. Tang Wanyan said excitedly. He raised his hand and condensed a millstone-sized fist. That millstone-sized fist was pushed 100 meters away, and the entire grandstand collapsed. He killed Xing Shanhu, who ran 200 meters away, with one punch. He even hit a helicopter and made it slide several meters away. Xing Shanhu? Who is that? Tang Guozhu asked in shock. I heard that he is the disciple of Lin Zhenyu of the Big Circle Gang. Tang Wanyan was so excited that his saliva was flying everywhere. He chattered endlessly, this kid is really amazing. He jumped from a helicopter 100 meters high and landed on the cruise ship. Oh my god, the cruise ship almost collapsed. At that time, I was so scared that I almost peed my pants. Lin Zhenyu? He is his disciple. Elder Tang was in a daze. His face was full of disbelief. He muttered to himself, Master Kong defeated him. It seems that Master Kong has stepped into the Grandmaster realm. Old man Tang, what are you talking about? How can there be such a powerful martial art in this world? Tang Weiman did not believe it. He didn't like this ignorant and incompetent third brother of his. Who would have thought that when he went to a gambling ship on the high seas, he would say that someone had jumped off a plane from 100 meters above the ground and throw a punch that was as heavy as a millstone? Do you think this is what a normal person would say? He must have taken too many drugs. Master Kong is here. Suddenly, Tang Wanyan cried out in alarm and hurriedly supported Elder Tang as they walked towards a handsome man who was passing through the moon gate. Is this the bullshit Master Kong? Tang Weiman was disappointed when he saw Jiang Tian. It was a young man in his early 20s, dressed in ordinary clothes, and beside him was a pretty girl. When he entered the courtyard, he didn't even greet the others. Instead, he flirted with the girl and joked around. Was this really a martial Dao master? A real martial arts master should be like Master Huang, who had white hair and a youthful face. He had the demeanor of a transcendent being, and his steps were steady and firm. He could send a tiger flying with a kick and smash a boulder with a punch. I don't approve of this Master Kong. Tang Weiman raised his hand and pointed at Jiang Tian. Then, he respectfully cupped his fist to Master Huang. Elder Huang, what do you think is wrong with my daughter? Master Huang, who was wearing a buttoned-long robe, glanced at Jiang Tian and said disdainfully, Miss Tang's martial art was taught by him. That's nonsense. Martial artists can only use medicine to nourish and strengthen their bodies. How can they meditate and absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth? This is the study of magic. He sneered and said, magic is just a small trick. The so-called soldiers from beans and calling the wind and summoning the rain are just rumors. In fact, it is nothing more than a ritual to appease the souls of the dead. Secretary Tang, do you want your daughter to become a witch? In his speech, he belittled the Haoran body tempering art that Jiang Tian taught him as worthless. Even though he talked about magic arts and martial arts, the terms were extremely mysterious and abstruse. However, Tang Weiman firmly believed it and nodded repeatedly. Weiman, what are you doing? Master Kong is an important guest of the Tang family. You can't be rude. Seeing Tang Weiman's cold attitude, eldest brother Tang was anxious. This Master Kong is not good. Send him out. Tang Weiman was too lazy to look at Jiang Tian. He waved his hand impatiently. Tang Wanyan blinked innocently. It seems that second brother is as stupid as me. He can't see that Master Kong is not ordinary. It seems that I can also be the secretary. Chapter 76. Tang Weiman's secretary, Kai Zhongxin hurried to comfort old man Tang. Elder Tang, Secretary Weiman spent a lot of effort to invite Master Huang to guide Miss Tang. As the saying goes, one shouldn't trouble two masters for one matter. Please don't make things difficult for Secretary Wayman. Little Kai, you don't know shit. Tang Wanyan shouted anxiously, do you know what kind of person Grandmaster Jiang is? How can that bullshit Grandmaster Huang compare to him? Kai Zhongxin was shocked by Tang Wanyan's words. He wanted to cover Tang Wanyan's mouth with his hand. Third Lord, please stop talking. Master Huang is the head sergeant of the Central Guard Bureau. He is a martial arts master and has perfected his internal force cultivation. He didn't know what Jiang Tian was capable of. If it weren't for Old Man Tang and Third Lord Tang, he would have called the Central Guard Bureau over already. Jiang Tian didn't care. He scanned the area with his immortal will and said with a smile, don't worry, Old Man Tang. Tang Linglong has reached the peak of body tempering. The next step is to reach the transcendent state. She is a prodigy. Really? Old Man Tang was overjoyed. He was so grateful to Jiang Tian that he almost dropped to his knees. Look, the bamboo forest is fluttering. The wind is blowing and the spirit qi is pouring into Linglong's head. She is channeling qi into her body. Jiang Tian said with a smile. That is comparable to a grandmaster. Oh my god, the Tang family is going to have a grandmaster. Thank you so much, Master Kong, for giving me that manual. Tang Guizhu's body trembled. He was so excited that he almost burst into tears. What a load of bullshit. Secretary Kai sneered. Transcendent Grandmaster. Channeling qi into the body. Are you trying to write a fantasy novel? You really know how to make stuff up. He knew that Tang Linglong had been practicing for years, but she had never reached the threshold of martial arts. Master Huang had been the head sergeant of the Central Guard Bureau for more than a decade, but he had only perfected his internal force cultivation. According to what you said, Tang Linglong is now stronger than Grandmaster Huang. You really know how to flatter yourself. Secretary Tang, this is bad. Look at your daughter. Her body is shaking and her face is pale. This is a sign of exhaustion. Suddenly, Grandmaster Huang said with a stern face, stop cultivating and eat something nourishing. Otherwise, I'm afraid he'll collapse and die. Even if I save him now, I'm afraid he'll be crippled. Ah. So scary. Tang Weiman was shocked when he heard this. He hated Jiang Tian to the core. Was this brat trying to kill his daughter? What a bunch of nonsense. Just when everyone was terrified, a cold voice sounded out. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. They turned around and saw Jiang Tian coldly looking at Huang Xiangsheng with a face full of disdain and contempt. Next to him, Secretary Kai was so scared that he almost fell to the ground. In the face of Jiang Tian's repeated disregard and provocation, Huang Xiangsheng could no longer endure it. He was the instructor of the Central Guard Station and had taught countless elite agents. His position was even higher than Tang Guizhu's. In Huaxia's martial arts world, other than the real grandmasters, there were only a handful of people who could compete with him. He became famous 20 years ago and was a VIP of the rich and famous. If Tang Weiman did not ask the vice principal of the Central Party School to intercede, he would not have come. Brat, who's your master? Didn't your master teach you to respect your martial arts seniors? Huang Xiangsheng snorted. Senior? Jiang Tian crossed his arms and laughed, what kind of senior are you? In my eyes, you're not even my junior. Jiang Tian had been cultivating for 10,000 years and had a lifespan of 10,000 years. He could be said to be Huang Xiangsheng's ancestor. But how could Huang Xiangsheng understand this? Hearing this, he was furious and sneered, in Huaxia's martial arts world, there are less than 10 people who can be called my senior. They are all veterans who are over 80 years old. May I ask which one of them is your master? He's Huang Xiangsheng. Tang Guizhu exclaimed. Why? Is he famous? Jiang Tian asked calmly. Sigh, he is even more famous than me in the martial arts world. He is close to the Central Party School's leaders, Tang Guizhu smiled bitterly. Before Tang Guizhu could finish, Huang Xiangxing sneered and said, "Hee hee, you haven't even heard of my name. Looks like he is not a martial artist." "Yes, I've never heard of you." Jiang Tian replied straightforwardly. Pfft. Hearing those words, Huang Xiangxing's disciples all began to hold their stomachs and laugh out loud. A person who was not a martial artist dared to talk nonsense to Master Huang. It was like a student who knew nothing about physics challenging a Nobel Prize winner in physics. "But what do you have that is worth my attention?" Unexpectedly, Jiang Tian's face was calm, and he laughed mockingly. "Let's not talk about you. Even if Yi Zhantian was here, I could kill him like a dog. You are nothing compared to me. Although I'm not part of your martial arts circle, anyone who has received my teachings can kill you with one slap. The cultivation technique I pass down is boundlessly profound. How could it be something that an ant like you can understand? Arrogant brat." Huang Xiangxing almost jumped up when he heard this. He said angrily, "Do you know martial arts? Do you know what it means to have qi in your dantian? Do you know what it means to have power from your feet? Do you know Bajiquan? Do you know baguette?" He took a step forward and asked a few more questions. He was already in the middle of the yard. He looked at Jiang Tian with disdain and said, "In 1981, I represented Hua Xia in martial arts and went to Russia with the leaders to participate in a state visit. I fought the KGB's chief instructor and sent him flying with 3 kicks. In 1992, the European Tombstone Assassin Organization invaded. I led my disciples and killed them in Qinchuan River. In 1998, the Blackwater mercenaries at the Sino-Burmese border stole military intelligence. I killed them all and took back the intelligence. In 2001, there was a terrorist attack. I was still the one who saved the day. I killed the enemy and dismantled the bomb. I saved tens of thousands of innocent citizens. I have been famous for decades. I have fought hundreds of battles and have never lost. You ignorant brat dare to question my authority." Facing the furious Grandmaster Huang, everyone present was in awe. "Hee hee, there is no first place in literature and no second place in martial arts." Jiang Tian lowered his eyes. He was too lazy to look at him. He said indifferently, "Why are you talking so much nonsense? Let's fight." "What? You are so daring to challenge Grandmaster Huang. Get out now." Secretary Kai's face changed. He wanted to disregard his status and kick Jiang Tian away. "Ignorant and arrogant. Who do you think you are to fight with me?" Huang Xiangxing scolded Jiang Tian. "Grandmaster Huang, this brat is arrogant and ignorant. Why do you have to lower yourself to his level? Please forgive him." Tang Weimin said happily. "Forget it, honey. The Tang family is always so arrogant. Just ignore them." Zhao Xueqing tugged at Jiang Tian's sleeve. She could not bear to see Jiang Tian being ignored. "I don't plan to fight with you." Jiang Tian smiled. "Because you are not worthy enough for me to fight with you, Ling Long." "What? You want Miss Tang to fight with me? You. Huang Xiangxing was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This brat is too arrogant. Suddenly, Secretary Kai exclaimed, "Secretary Tang, look. What is wrong with Ling Long?" "Huh?" Tang Weimin turned his head and looked. His face was filled with disbelief as if he had seen a ghost. Tang Linglong slowly stood up and took a step in the air. Her body suddenly rose up, and with another step, she rose another half a meter. It was as if there was an invisible staircase under her feet. Tang Linglong's face was calm. She took 9 steps in the air and rose to 8 meters in the blink of an eye. By then, Tang Linglong had reached the top of the bamboo forest. She stood against the wind and walked on the waves of bamboo. Her training outfit fluttered in the wind. Her silky hair fluttered in the wind. She looked like a goddess from the 9 heavens who had descended to the mortal world. Oh my God! That is Many people exclaimed. They were petrified and could not believe their eyes. That is air walk. Is she a transcendent master? Huang Xiangsheng was dumbfounded. His voice trembled. Those who could leap over roofs, vault over walls, and walk on water could all be considered as martial arts masters. However, Tang Linglong did not borrow any force at all. She took 9 steps in the air and ascended into the sky. If this was not a master, then what was a master? Slash! Tang Linglong shouted and waved her finger. A 1-meter-long inner strength transformed into a long sword. It emitted a bright light and slashed towards the artificial lake in the courtyard. Boom! After a loud noise, a wave of white water rose into the air. It was more than 10 meters tall. The bottom of the 2-meter-deep lake was revealed. Countless pebbles were smashed into pieces and scattered in all directions. Sky walk 9 steps and slashed the lake. What kind of divine might was this? A martial arts grandmaster, a real martial arts grandmaster. Huang Xiangsheng was shocked out of his wits and muttered to himself with a dull look in his eyes. Is she really Linglong? Tang Weimin's divine soul was shaken. He couldn't believe that such an overlord was his daughter who used to beg him for lollipops. Our Tang family has finally produced a martial Dao grandmaster. God bless the Tang family. Old man Tang walked forward with his walking stick. His body trembled as tears of joy rolled down his cheeks. Did Miss Tang really reach the transcendent master level in less than a month after practicing Master Kang's cultivation art? Huang Xiangsheng muttered to himself in a daze. Master, is Mr. Zhang's cultivation art that powerful? The disciples struggled out of their shock with great difficulty and couldn't help but ask when they heard this. Martial arts cultivation is like sailing against the current. There are thousands of obstacles in your way. Even if you are talented and have a lot of cultivation resources, you will still need at least 40 years of hard work to reach the transcendent state. I think Miss Tang is just an ordinary cultivator. Even if she has a lot of resources, she can only reach the peak of the iron body stage. But Miss Tang only practiced this cultivation art for a month and didn't take any precious pills. She reached the transcendent state just by breathing in the wind and drinking the dew. This cultivation art is, Huang Xiangsheng couldn't describe the shock in his heart. He said in a trembling voice, this is not an ordinary cultivation art. This is a transcendent art. When everyone heard this, they were all dumbfounded. Waves of shock surged in their hearts. They only felt that Jiang Tian's cultivation technique was indeed like an immortal technique. Chapter 77. He reached the transcendent state in just 1 month. What a miracle! What a miracle! Some disciples murmured to themselves. Master, how does he compare to you? Another disciple asked. How am I qualified to compete with him? I can't even compare to Tang Linglong who he taught a thing or two. His training speed is so fast that even Yi Zhantian would be outclassed by him. Huang Xiangsheng shook his head with a wry smile and pondered. In Huaxia, Yi Zhantian was the most powerful martial artist in the world except for the hidden sections. For decades, Huang Xiangsheng and many other overlords of Huaxia had been suppressed by Yi Zhantian. No one dared to challenge him. But now, Huang Xiangsheng believed that Jiang Tian could even catch up with Yi Zhantian. Third brother, where is brother Jiang? No, Master Kang. How could you let Master Kang go? Suddenly, Tang Weimin pulled himself out from his shock and looked around. When he didn't see Jiang Tian's figure, he couldn't help but shout out with an annoyed expression. Everyone looked at Tang Wanyan. Didn't you ask him to go? I didn't stop him. Tang Wanyan stood there with an adorable look on his face. Honey, is it okay for us to just leave like this? While everyone was still in shock, Jiang Tian and Zhao Xueqing had already returned to the Times mansion. What? Do you still want me to take Tang Linglong as my disciple? Jiang Tian said with a half-smile. Tang Wanyan had brought Tang Linglong to Jiang Tian's place. After much persuasion, Jiang Tian finally agreed. However, when he saw Tang Weiman's cocky appearance, Jiang Tian was immediately disappointed and lost interest. Humph! That Secretary Tang is so arrogant. If he doesn't believe in my ability, then just ignore him. Zhao Xueqing said this very indifferently. However, when she thought about it carefully, she was shocked by her own words. If it were a few months ago, even if the Tang family threw a glance at him, he would have to curry favor with them. But now, he actually had the ability to ignore the Tang family. What a terrifying leap. These days, I just want to accompany you. Jiang Tian smiled and held the girl in his arms. His heart was filled with satisfaction, sweetness, and happiness. Zhao Xueqing asked, by the way, is Tang Linglong really a transcendent master? No, strictly speaking, she is still at the inner strength stage. However, the inner strength of the Hao Ran body art is comparable to the true qi of an ordinary martial artist. Jiang Tian smiled faintly. However, at night, Elder Tang still brought Tang Weiman and Tang Linglong to visit him. Master Kong, it is my fault for offending you. Please don't take it to heart. The moment Tang Weiman saw Jiang Tian, he bowed deeply. His face was filled with humility and respect, even more so than when he met the central government officials. If this scene were to spread to the outside world, people would be shocked and would not believe it. Tang Weiman was the #1 official in Linzhou City. He had unparalleled power and a bright future ahead of him. Rumor had it that he had the potential to become the leader of the central government. However, he was so respectful to Jiang Tian as if he was a god. I didn't know. I have to thank you for not kicking me out today. Jiang Tian smiled faintly as he sipped his tea. Grandmaster Jiang, your words are too much for me. Please forgive me, Master Kong. Jiang Tian's tone was polite, but it made Tang Weiman break out in cold sweat and his face turned pale. Now, he knew that Jiang Tian was the most powerful person in Jiangbei. Even Yi Gufeng, Zhen Guangxia and the other tycoons treated him like a god. Not to mention that Jiang Tian was a grandmaster who could kill people without leaving a trace. Even if Jiang Tian used legal means to order these tycoons to withdraw their investments in Linzhou City, he would have to resign as the secretary of the city committee. You can leave now, you disgrace. Elder Tang scolded. He had no choice but to suck up to Qin Xiaobei and say, Master Kong, it is my fault for not teaching them well. They have become arrogant. Jiang Tian smiled faintly and did not comment on it. Master Kong, I know that you are a powerful person who does not care about fame and fortune. However, Mrs. Jiang is involved in worldly businesses. If you agree to take Linglong as your disciple, the Tang family is willing to serve Mrs. Jiang. Tang Wanyan hurried to say. He had already figured out Jiang Tian's temperament. He was a man who spoiled his wife. Grandmaster Jiang was like a dragon or phoenix in the heavens. There was no need for you to coerce or bribe him. Only by starting with Zhao Xueqing would he have a chance of survival. If I don't take her as my disciple, won't you take care of me? Jiang Tian said with a half-smile. Smack. Tang Wanyan wasn't as righteous as Tang Weiman. He didn't know how to act like a concubine or a grandson. He raised his hand and slapped himself. Look at my stupid mouth. I don't know how to talk. Whether you take her as your disciple or not, you are our benefactor. It's just that Linglong admires you a lot. If you don't take her as your disciple, she will kill herself. Then, he winked at his niece. Master Kong, please take me as your disciple. I beg you, I will definitely be filial to you. Tang Linglong suddenly looked at Jiang Tian pitifully. Her small mouth was flat and her beautiful eyes were full of tears. She looked like she was going to cry if he didn't agree. I have hands and feet. Why do I need you to be filial to me? Jiang Tian suddenly felt a headache coming. Zhao Xueqing pulled his sleeve and said, Honey, just take her. She is so pitiful. She was also careful. Tang Linglong was the top socialite in Linzhou. She had a strong background and was very charming. If she had feelings for Jiang Tian, she would be a huge threat to her. Why don't we establish a master and disciple relationship? Then I will be her master's wife. She won't dare to compete with me. Okay, I will listen to my wife and take her. Jiang Tian thought for a moment and nodded. Oh yeah. That's great. Tang Linglong suddenly jumped up and down happily. She raised her arms and shouted. Thank you, Master Kang, for your help. Our Tang family will never forget Master Kang's great kindness. Don't just be happy. Kowtow to your master. The three people of the Tang family were very happy. Tang Guizhu suppressed his excitement and reminded with a frown. Master above. Please accept a kowtow from your disciple. Tang Linglong didn't have the slightest shyness. She gracefully knelt down and kowtowed 3 times. Then, she offered a cup of tea. No need to be so polite. It's fine as long as you have filial piety in your heart. Get up. Jiang Tianan sat still and calmly accepted her kowtow. He picked up the teacup and took a sip of the tea in satisfaction. Thank you, Master. Tang Linglong had just gotten up when Master Tang anxiously shouted, Don't panic. You still have to kowtow and pour tea for your master's wife. Have you forgotten the rules I mentioned? I am too excited. Master's wife, your disciple will kowtow to you. Tang Linglong knelt down again. She solemnly kowtowed to Zhao Xueqing and poured tea. Miss Tang, please don't. Please get up. Zhao Xueqing couldn't stand it. She felt like she was in a dream. Tang Linglong was the top socialite in Linzhou. She was the daughter of a rich family. Usually, it was difficult for her to even see her. But now, she actually knelt and kowtowed to her. Zhao Xueqing quickly helped Tang Linglong up and said with a smile, You are 20 years old this year. I am 2 years older than you. You can call me big sister from now on. How can I do that? You are my master's wife. You can't mess with the seniority. Tang Linglong repeatedly waved her hand. It's okay. If you call Jiang Tian master, you can call me big sister. Otherwise, if you call me master's wife, I will feel old. Zhao Xueqing said with a smile. Seeing that Jiang Tian didn't seem to have any objections, Tang Linglong immediately grabbed Zhao Xueqing's small hand and said affectionately, Okay, I will call you big sister. Big sister Qing'er. That's great. Tang Guizhu was very excited. He had finally brought Master Kang to the Tang family's ship. It was not easy at all. Don't forget the etiquette. Suddenly, he cupped his fist and said in a deep voice, Master Kang, in a week's time, we plan to hold a grand apprenticeship ceremony at Crouching Dragon Villa. We will hold a grand banquet. We will invite all the heroes in the world to be our witnesses. What do you think, Master Kang? Tang Weimin asked nervously. He was afraid that Jiang Tian would refuse. Sure. Jiang Tian smiled. His heart was as clear as a mirror. How could he not know the Tang family's plan? However, he had returned after thousands of years of cultivation. His divine powers were limitless. Protecting a small Tang family was a piece of cake. Master Kang, I have asked a few chefs at Crouching Dragon Villa to prepare a banquet. How about we get drunk? Tang Weimin asked humbly. Sure. Jiang Tian smiled. If it was in the past, Jiang Tian would have coldly refused. However, Tang Linglong was very talented and had become his disciple. She was also his first disciple after returning. In Jiang Tian's eyes, the Tang family was one of his own. Thank you, Master Kang. Madam Jiang must come as well. Elder Tang's face was filled with surprise. He was not stupid. He noticed the change in Jiang Tian. Even if he knew about the Tang family's background, Jiang Tian did not care about them before. He would not eat with them. However, he was much more gentle now. That night, at Crouching Dragon Villa. In a restaurant decorated elegantly and gracefully, a large round mahogany table was filled with dozens of delicacies, including some rare delicacies that were rarely seen outside. The wine was Mao Tai that Elder Tang had treasured for many years. It was difficult to buy in the market. Jiang Tian sat in the main seat. Zhao Xueqing sat in the second seat. Elder Tang was the head, Tang Weiman was the assistant, and Tang Wanyan and Tang Linglong were in charge of pouring the wine. The Tang family could not hide their smiles. Master, benefactor, thank you for taking Linglong as your disciple. You have fulfilled an old man's wish. Tang Guizhu clinked his cup with both hands and stood up respectfully. This is Linglong's fortune. It is also the fortune of the Tang family. It is also my fortune. Linglong's talent is not bad. I am very satisfied. Jiang Tian smiled. To be able to receive such praise from Master Kong, this old man can die without regrets. Tang Guizhu drank his cup in one gulp. Master, I also toast to you and Sister Xueqing. Tang Linglong raised her cup and smiled mischievously. This beautiful girl who had just turned 20 was very happy. Her clear eyes were curved into a beautiful crescent moon shape. Her bright red lips were pursed, and her smile was sweet. Sometimes she was as pure and cute as a 16-year-old girl, and sometimes she was as mature and charming as a 30-year-old woman. This girl could cook, go to the hall, and was also proficient in martial arts. She was the ideal goddess in any man's heart. You are messing up the seniority. Tang Weiman pretended to be angry. Besides, as a junior, how can you toast to two people at once? You don't know the rules. Toast to one person at a time. Oh. Tang Linglong stuck out her tongue mischievously and said softly, I want to toast to master and mistress together because I want to never be separated. I would not dare to be disrespectful to master and mistress. Chapter 78. Linglong, thank you. Let's drink together. Zhao Xueqing was happy as she took a sip of the white wine. Her daily business banquets mostly consisted of red wine, which was not very strong. Suddenly drinking a high concentration of white wine, her face turned red, which added a bit of moving charm. Qing'er, don't drink white wine, drink something else. Jiang Tian patted her back with concern and smiled. Is this appropriate? Even Elder Tang drank white wine. Zhao Xueqing was a little embarrassed. It's the same, it's the same. No one dared to take it seriously and expressed that there was no problem. In their hearts, they thought that Jiang Tian was really a wife-doting maniac. The banquet lasted until 10 o'clock in the evening. Tang Weiman vomited 3 times. Elder Tang, who had been sober for many years, was also dizzy and drunk. The next morning, Jiang Tian had just finished his cultivation. His sister-in-law, Zhao Qianru, called, Brother-in-law, do you know what day it is today? What? Jiang Tian asked with a smile. Brother-in-law doesn't love my sister at all. You deserve to be beaten. His sister-in-law shouted angrily. Jiang Tian's heart suddenly moved. Today is your sister's birthday, right? Yes, tonight, I'm going to the socialite club with a few of my sister's friends to celebrate her birthday. Brother-in-law, you have to prepare a gift. His sister-in-law giggled and hung up the phone. Qing'er, you're celebrating your birthday at the socialite club today. What gift do you want? Jiang Tian hugged his beloved wife with an apologetic look in his eyes. In his previous life, he had been with Zhao Xueqing for a few years. He had never celebrated her birthday, nor did he buy her a gift or a birthday cake. Every birthday, she would spend it alone, or she would not even have the concept of a birthday and work overtime at the company. It doesn't matter. It's good that you have the heart. Zhao Xueqing smiled sweetly and said softly, actually, I didn't even think about it. I was going to work overtime. It was Qianru who insisted on doing it. Of course. Why don't I call Zhou Zhenghao and ask him to go to Dihao Club? Jiang Tian smiled. Zhao Xueqing shook her head lightly and said, forget it, a small gathering is enough. I just want to be with you, I don't want to see them. I'm already very satisfied to be able to stay quietly with you. There was something that Zhao Xueqing couldn't say. Fu Lanjun, the vice president of the socialite clubhouse, had the same birthday as her. If she held a big party for her birthday, it might overshadow Fu Lanjun's limelight. Jiang Tian didn't know about this and didn't take it to heart. He just nodded. In the evening, Zhao Xueqing put on a delicate makeup and put on a decent evening gown. Then, she walked out of the Times mansion with Jiang Tian. Where are master and mistress going? Do you want me to go with you? Ghost Kick walked out of the side room and bowed with his fists cupped. Oh, Qing'er is holding a birthday party at the socialite clubhouse. We'll be back soon. You don't have to go. Jiang Tian glanced at his loyal servant and smiled gently. Oh, so it's mistress's birthday. Ghost Kick rubbed his chin as he watched Jiang Tian and Qianru drive away. He muttered to himself, Zhou Zhenghao, Long Wu, Master Tang, and the others told me many times that if Master Kong celebrates his birthday, I must tell them. I'll give them a call and see how they perform. Night fell at the socialite clubhouse. In the luxurious banquet hall, the music was pleasing to the ears, the lights were bright, and the voices were loud. The wall was decorated with colorful balls that formed the words, Happy Birthday. Most of the hall was filled with guests. Many famous young masters and young ladies of Lin Zhou gathered together. Fu Lanjun sat in the middle of the main seat. She wore a diamond-studded crown on her head and an off-the-shoulder white dress. She was like a high and mighty queen, enjoying the adoration of everyone. Did you see that? That's Mr. Liu from the Chidwa group. He's worth hundreds of millions. He's here too. Young Master Liu is here too. He's the future successor of the family. The vice president of the Chamber of Commerce is here too. He's worth hundreds of millions. At the round table next to them, several executives of Kaffir Lily Fashion Group looked at Fu Lanjun enviously, exclaiming in admiration. Fu Lanjun could be said to be a proud daughter of the heavens. She was like a princess and was the target of many rich second-generation young masters. She was good at dealing with people and was one of the 5 golden flowers of Lin Zhou, second only to Tang Linglong. The guests who came to congratulate her took up more than half of the hall. There were 20 tables. Her influence in Lin Zhou was evident from the fact that so many famous tycoons came to congratulate her. President Fu, this is a pair of jade earrings. I bought them from Myanmar. Thank you, President Hu. Miss Fu, this is a famous painting by Zheng Banqiao that I bought at the Christie's autumn auction last year. Please accept it. Authentic. It's too precious. It's rare. Fu Lanjun responded calmly to the guests who were lining up to present her with gifts. These people were extremely tempting to ordinary people, but she didn't care about them at all. Did you see that? The gift that Ms. Fu received today is worth at least 10 million yuan. Everyone was envious. Humph. That Zhao Xueqing is brainless. Doesn't she know that it's Sister June's birthday today? How dare she come here to celebrate her birthday with only this table? She doesn't even have any friends. How shameful. Suddenly, a girl pointed at a table in the corner and sneered. That table belonged to Zhao Qianru and a few other girls from well-to-do families. It was the first time for many of them to come to such a high-class club. They looked timid and cautious. They even had to smile when they asked the waiter to serve them tea. The Zhao family was nothing in Linzhou, and Zhao Xueqing's social life was very simple. She only had a handful of friends who could be counted on one hand. The gifts they sent were only worth a few thousand yuan. They paled in comparison to Fu Lanjun's. At this moment, Fu Lanjun looked at Liu Baiyao and asked with a smile. Baiyao, why are you so down and out? Is your relationship with Xue Feiyang not going well? Don't worry, there are many good men out there. I'll introduce them to you. Ever since Lu Baiyao came back from the Blue Whale Princess a few days ago, she had been distracted. Fu Longjun thought that Xue Feiyang probably didn't like her, so she wanted to comfort her. Lu Baiyao's eyes were empty as she laughed nervously. What is Xue Feiyang? He's just a dog. Baiyao, you don't like Xue Feiyang? Or do you have other goals? Fu Longjun couldn't help but laugh as she despised her in her heart. This best friend of hers was too narcissistic. The Lu family was ranked in the top 10 in Linzhou and she still thought that Xue Feiyang wasn't worthy of her. I want to pursue Jiang Tian. Lu Baiyao's eyes were unprecedentedly firm as she said those words. The scene of Jiang Tian shocking everyone on the Blue Whale Princess, and even Ye Gufeng bowing his head in submission, had already been deeply imprinted in her soul. After coming back, she couldn't forget about Jiang Tian. When she thought about how she missed out on Jiang Tian, she was filled with regret. She tossed and turned in bed, unable to eat or sleep well. In fact, Jiang Tian's current status was so high that she knew that she wasn't worthy of him and could only look up to him. But when she compared herself to Zhao Xueqing, she felt more confident. If Zhao Xueqing could make Jiang Tian love her so much, why couldn't she, who had a better background and looks, have the same? Baiyao, you're crazy. Fu Longjun's face changed as she said in disdain, Jiang Tian is a lunatic. He's ignorant and incompetent. Also, the Jiang family isn't going to make it. It's not like you don't know, when choosing a man, family background is the most important. Next is personal ability. He's useless. Aren't you degenerating yourself by pursuing him? You don't know, Lu Baiyao subconsciously wanted to talk about what she saw and heard on the cruise ship. But when she thought of Jiang Tian's threat, she shuddered and swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. Wait, I'll introduce you to a few guys. I'm sure you'll be satisfied. Fu Longjun persuaded. No, I don't want to know anyone except him. Lu Baiyao shook her head in disappointment. Speak of the devil. Young Master Lu is here. Come with me to welcome him. Leave a good impression on him. Suddenly, Fu Longjun's face lit up. She pulled Lu Baiyao up and got up to welcome him with a smile. Young Master Lu. Young Master Lu is here. Some sharp-eyed tycoons saw a tall and handsome young man walking in. They all exclaimed and went to welcome him with joy. Lu Tianle, the son of Mayor Lu, was a first-tier tycoon in Linzhou. He was on par with Tang Jianfeng. He graduated from an Ivy League business school in the United States. After returning to China, he opened a venture capital company and invested in many high-tech projects. He earned 100 million in assets before the age of 30, which made those black-bellied middle-aged uncles in the business world feel inferior. Chairman Su is also here. Your business is getting bigger and bigger. Boss Wei, we meet again. Lu Tianle shook hands and greeted everyone as soon as he entered the door. He was at ease and had a strong aura. Even some of the old tycoons were suppressed by him. He had a distinguished status. Those tycoons who could talk to him were all flattered. Coupled with his handsome face and tall figure, he made some of the arrogant socialites fall in love with him. They couldn't wait to throw themselves into his arms. Longjun, I know you liked the sunflowers in the western suburbs when you were studying abroad in London. Seeing Fu Longjun coming over, Lu Tianle presented a gift and smiled politely. This is a bag of sunflower seeds that were picked from the western suburbs of London and flown over. After you plant it, you will be able to see the sunflowers in the western suburbs of London every day. Oh my God, seeds that were flown over. Young Master Lu is so romantic. Countless girls were touched and their eyes sparkled. Thank you, young Master Lu. This is the best gift I've received today. Fu Longjun smiled. Lu Tianle had a powerful background and great influence. She also had to rely on him. Even if he gave her a straw rope, she would still say that it was better than a diamond necklace. Ha, young Master Lu is so thoughtful. Have you fallen for our sister Lan? A young lady from a rich family jeered. Don't talk nonsense. Fu Lanjuan's face instantly tensed up. She liked Tang Jianfeng. If these words were to reach his ears, it would inevitably cause a misunderstanding. Stinky girl, are you trying to dig a hole for me to jump into? How could Lu Tianle not know that? He pointed at the lady and smiled. Hee, young master Tang Jianfeng asked me to give this to you. He really asked you to give this to me. Fu Lanjun was so happy that her eyes turned red. Yes, young master Tang is busy with military training and combat missions. The management is strict, so he can't come over personally, so. When Tang Jianfeng was mentioned, even Lu Tianle had a look of reverence and admiration. He was now an elite in the military and was already a lieutenant. He had hopes of getting a few general stars in his lifetime. Chapter 79. Wow, so it was young Master Tang who asked young Master Lu to give it to you. Sister June, you are so lucky. Yes, this gift is so unique and precious. Everyone cheered together and the atmosphere was warm. Fu Lanjun also smiled like a flower and felt honored. But Lu Biao, who was accompanying Fu Lanjun, snorted disdainfully and shook her head in disappointment. Now, she had already realized how big the universe was. Compared to Jiang Tian, those rich young masters that she looked up to were instantly overshadowed like dust and ants, causing her to be unable to arouse the slightest bit of interest. Sister June, she looks familiar. Seeing her shake her head in disappointment, Lu Tianle was immediately attracted by this cold and elegant girl. Especially the melancholy on her brows, her temperament was somewhat similar to Lin Zhou's flower Zhao Xueqing. This is Miss Lu Biao from the Lu family, she is also my good sister. She is very powerful. Fu Lanjun immediately introduced Lu Biao enthusiastically, praising Lu Biao high and mighty. At such a young age, she has control of hundreds of millions of assets and her business performance has increased by 20% annually. Amazing! Hearing the introduction, Lu Tianle was full of praise. Lu Tianle had seen Lu Biao several times before, but she was definitely not as beautiful as she was today. Zhao Xueqing is already married to Madman Jiang. It is useless for me to think about her. It is better to be with Lu Biao, he was thinking leisurely. Fu Lanjun had already pulled him to a seat next to Lu Biao so that it was easier to talk. Miss Lu, I have learned about your company. It is quite good. He showed off his ability, implicitly integrating his ability and status into the conversation. Fu Lanjun also praised him from the side, showing off his tall and mighty image. Unfortunately, Lu Biao's interest had always been lacking. Her cold little face didn't say a word, which made him very puzzled and surprised. Lu Biao looked at the door with disinterest. She wanted to leave this birthday banquet. Suddenly, her beautiful eyes widened. She stood up and said in a trembling voice, Jiang Tian, why is he here? Today is his wife, Zhao Xueqing's birthday. He's probably here to celebrate. Fu Lanjun said disdainfully. Noticing Lu Biao's admiration and concern for Jiang Tian, Lu Tianle suddenly felt a burst of jealousy in his heart. Curling his lips, he glanced at Jiang Tian in disdain and said, isn't this that crazy son-in-law of the Zhao family? Miss Lu also knows him. Oh. I know him. Lu Biao sat down and felt as if her soul had left her body. Zhao Xueqing was also here. How could she get in touch with Jiang Tian? Suddenly, she had an idea. She pulled Fu Lanjun and begged, Sister June, your relationship with the Zhao family is good, right? Can you wait for me and bring me to propose a toast? I don't dare to do it alone. What's so scary about him? Are you afraid that she'll go crazy and beat you up? Fu Lanjun said disdainfully, he wouldn't dare. I'm the vice president of the socialite clubhouse. If I tell him to scram, he has to scram. I'll go touch up my makeup. Lu Biao was agitated and in a fluster. This time, she had to leave a good impression on Jiang Tian. Seeing Lu Baiao rushing to the washroom, Lu Tianle frowned with an unhappy expression. Young Master Lu, if you hate this Jiang Tian, I'll chase him out. Fu Lanjun chuckled. Zhao Xueqing was only an ordinary member here, but she was the vice president of the clubhouse. If she told him to scram, then he had to scram. He's worth me hating. He's trash. When Lu Baiao comes back, I'll go and meet him. Lu Tianle smiled sinisterly. He was full of confidence as if victory was in his hands. A moment later, Lu Baiao came back. She pulled Fu Lanjun up and begged, Sister June, quickly come with me. Jiang Tian and Zhao Xueqing had just sat down when Lu Tianle walked over with Fu Lanjun and Lu Baiao. Mr. Jiang, I heard that today is Miss Xueqing's birthday. You didn't come empty-handed, right? Lu Tianle looked down at Jiang Tian. What kind of presentable gift could a married son-in-law, a lunatic, have? Who are you? Jiang Tian couldn't be bothered to look at him. Besides, what does it have to do with you whether I'm empty-handed or not? It has nothing to do with me, Lu Tianle was annoyed. This brat didn't know who he was, and his tone was so arrogant. What a lunatic. Suppressing the anger in his heart, he pointed at Fu Lanjun's mountainous pile of gifts and sneered. Look at how much Miss Fu has received. You can't let your lover be too shabby, right? This trash. Jiang Tian was disdainful. This brat is arrogant. Jiang Tian's words offended everyone present. A group of people glared at Jiang Tian. Even Fu Lanjun was a little angry at Jiang Tian. Someone gave me trash, but you don't care about me? Trash. Lu Tianle waved his hand, indicating for everyone to quiet down. He wanted to make a fool of this arrogant and ignorant good-for-nothing. He sneered, then Mr. Jiang must have prepared a precious gift for his beloved wife. I have something that can be worth 10,000 taels of gold. Jiang Tian said indifferently, even if you have 10,000 taels of gold, it's difficult to exchange for this item. Motherfucker, stop bragging. Bulls are flying to the sky. Why isn't there any lightning striking this brat? Everyone mocked loudly. What kind of precious gift is it? Why don't you let us country bumpkins see it? Lu Tianle smiled disdainfully. Jiang Tian took out a white ape bone guqin and said with a smile, Qinger, I made this bone guqin myself. It's for you. I don't see anything strange about it. Everyone looked at the bone guqin. They didn't know what material it was made of, and they didn't see anything extraordinary about it. Zhao Xueqing held it in her arms as if she had found a treasure. She smiled and said, Hubby, what you gave me is definitely a treasure. This guqin is so new. How can it be called a guqin? It's worth 10,000 taels of gold. Are you kidding me? You're a liar. Lu Tianle smiled disdainfully and shook his head. Zhao Xueqing was short-sighted. Otherwise, why would she reject his advances? Do I know you? You're like a fly chattering here. Don't you find it annoying? Go away. Jiang Tian frowned and scolded coldly. Today, he just wanted to celebrate his wife's birthday. He didn't expect that there would be such an ignorant bastard chattering here. This brat is so arrogant. He dares to scold Mr. Lu. Shameless boasting. He doesn't want to live anymore. He's so arrogant that he'll be killed by Mr. Lu. Everyone gasped in unison when they heard this. They were flabbergasted and went pale with fright, and they didn't dare believe it. Jiang Tian, you're the first person who dares to talk to me like this. I'll let you know the gap between us. Lu Tianle was so angry that his face turned red and white. He was trembling all over. Being humiliated by this lunatic was the biggest shame in his life. He couldn't accept it. Jiang Tian, you've misunderstood. Mr. Lu brought me here to propose a toast. He doesn't mean any harm. I'll propose a toast to you and apologize to you on his behalf. Seeing this, Lu Biao was so scared that her face turned pale. She opened her mouth in fear and tried to mediate. You're a sinner. What right do you have to apologize for him? Go away. Jiang Tian was annoyed. What kind of people are they? They're all here to disturb me. Can't they just let me have some peace? Seeing that Lu Biao was humiliated by Jiang Tian, Lu Tianle wanted to regain his woman's face and show his status. He scolded coldly, Jiang Tian, you're just a good-for-nothing. How dare you disrespect us? Who gave you such confidence? Fu Lanjun scolded angrily, Jiang Tian, this is the socialite clubhouse. It's not a place where you can behave atrociously. You'd better punish yourself by drinking 3 cups and apologize to Mr. Lu and Miss Lu. Otherwise, I won't let you go. Apologize? Is he worthy? Get lost. Be careful or I'll slap you. Jiang Tian smiled coldly. You're really rebelling. Fu Lanjuan's face turned cold. She said disdainfully, Xueqing, your husband is crazy and disrespectful to Mr. Lu. You don't care. If you don't care, then I'll chase you out. I'm also a member of the socialite clubhouse. What right do you have to chase us out? Zhao Xueqing frowned and said unhappily. From now on, as the owner of the socialite clubhouse, I'm informing you that your membership is cancelled immediately. Now, take your crazy husband and friends and get out. Fu Lanjuan's face turned cold. She was like a high and mighty empress as she ordered arrogantly. Ha, so this is Zhao Xueqing's crazy husband. No wonder he's so arrogant. A rich boss said disdainfully. How can a good-for-nothing like him be qualified to enter the socialite clubhouse? Get the hell out of here. This guy is ignorant and incompetent. He eats, drinks, and gambles. Maybe he's spent all his money and wants to steal from the socialite clubhouse. Someone mocked. Miss Fu has already spoken. Why are you still here? Are you waiting for the security to throw you out? Someone even threatened them smugly. At this time, no one spoke up for Jiang Tian. They all looked at Jiang Tian mockingly and gloatingly. Lu Tianle, Fu Lanjun, and Lu Biao, even if they had great backgrounds, they would still have to think twice, not to mention that Jiang Tian was originally a nobody. Lu Tianle had one hand in his pocket and the other swirling the red wine glass. He stood proudly and said mockingly, Jiang Tian, I've told you that we're not on the same level. You don't have the right to challenge me. He stared at Jiang Tian viciously and said arrogantly, I told you to get out, so you have to get out. Get out. Get out. Those who were there to watch the show didn't mind it. Many young masters and socialites started to shout in agreement. Even Zhao Qianru was a little scared when she saw Lu Tianle's power. Jiang Tian knew Zhou Zhenghao, but even if Zhou Zhenghao was here, he wouldn't be able to fight Lu Tianle head-on. Jiang Tian, don't stoop down to their level, only Zhao Xueqing knew that Jiang Tian was not an ordinary person. She held Jiang Tian's hand and comforted him in a low voice. Hee, you're chasing me out. Jiang Tian sat there and swirled the teacup. He lowered his eyes and seemed to have accepted his fate. Suddenly, a cold voice came. Who asked him to get out? Everyone looked toward the source of the voice and saw the crowd parting like a tide. A woman in a red evening gown walked over quickly. She was 1.7 meters tall and with her high heels, she stood out from the crowd. Her makeup was cold and glamorous, and her pair of eyes were awe-inspiring. She looked like a high and mighty queen. All the socialites at the scene felt ashamed of their inferiority. They couldn't help but step back and keep quiet. It was Tang Linglong. Chapter 80. Who the hell is this girl? How dare she talk to young Lord Lu and Miss Fu like that? A second-generation rich kid sneered. Tang Linglong was obsessed with martial arts and kept a low profile. She rarely attended gatherings with socialites, so many people didn't know who she was. His companion, who had recognized Tang Linglong, covered his mouth and said in fear, "This is the princess of the Tang family. Do you want to die?" What? She's Tang Linglong. When the man heard this, his face turned pale and his body started to tremble. The Tang family was the most prominent family in Linzhou City, and her father was the secretary of the municipal party committee. No one here could compare with her background. Miss Tang, why are you here? Lanjun, please forgive me for not going out to meet you. Fu Lanjun didn't expect Tang Linglong to attend her birthday party. She was flattered. Miss Tang, I didn't expect you to come to my birthday party. I'm so touched. Please take a seat. She quickly walked up to Tang Linglong and reached out her hands. She wanted to kneel down and hug Tang Linglong's thigh to show her respect. Tang Linglong was the most famous socialite in Linzhou City. She was the daughter of the secretary of the municipal party committee and the princess of the Tang family. She was the favorite of Elder Tang. Fu Lanjun only became the vice president of the club because she was good at socializing with people. In terms of strength, she didn't even deserve to carry Tang Linglong's shoes. Oh, it's your birthday today. I didn't know. However, Tang Linglong brushed past her as if she was a cloud of dirty air. She didn't even look at her. Fu Lanjun was stunned. She turned around and saw Tang Linglong quickly walk to Jiang Tian's side. She smiled respectfully and said, Mr. Qinger, I'm here to celebrate Sister Qinger's birthday. Jiang Tian lit a cigarette and smoked slowly. He didn't say anything. Tang Linglong handed over a brocade box. After opening it, she said with a smile, Sister Qinger, this is a Hetian jade pendant I bought from Hong Kong. Although it can't be compared with the jade talisman made by Mr. Jiang, it's still a token of our Tang family's sincerity. I hope you'll accept it. Fu Lanjun stood there in a daze, her face flushed red. She was embarrassed to the extreme. Originally, she thought that Tang Linglong came over for her sake. Unexpectedly, she came to congratulate Zhao Xueqing. Whoosh! Everyone was in an uproar, not daring to believe it. Tang Linglong's status was extremely high. She was the daughter of the Tang family and the #1 socialite. Yet, she had actually congratulated a nobody, Zhao Xueqing, on her birthday. Moreover, looking at the jade pendant, it had an extremely good water source and didn't have a trace of impurities. It was sparkling, translucent, and extremely warm. Moreover, looking at the shape of the pendant, it seemed to be an antique. This jade pendant, everyone present was considered a socialite, and each of them had sharp eyes. Immediately, they all sucked in a breath of cold air. I recognize it. This is an antique jade pendant from the Han Dynasty that was sold at Christie's autumn auction in Hong Kong last year. It is worth 10 million yuan. Someone with a discerning eye suddenly slapped his thigh and exclaimed. Oh my god, it's comparable to a few supercars. A boss exclaimed and shook his head in amazement. Miss Tang gave her such an expensive gift. Everyone was dumbfounded and could not believe their eyes. Honey, this is too expensive. Is it appropriate? Zhao Xueqing could not make up her mind. She looked at Jiang Tian and asked. Take it if you like it. Jiang Tian said lightly. He was a great benefactor to the Tang family. A jade pendant was nothing to him. Suddenly, a group of people came in from outside the door. The leader of the group was a young man in his 30s. He wore a pair of gold-rimmed glasses and had an elegant temperament. However, there was also a domineering aura around him. Behind him were a few middle-aged men with extraordinary bearing. Isn't that young Master Long Gai Tian? Everyone turned pale with fright. Lord Long was the underground prince of Linzhou. He was as rich as Lu Tianla and had over 10 billion yuan. Moreover, this person was ruthless in his actions and had extremely strong means. He had completed the transformation of Longwei Group. Which rich and powerful young master present was not afraid of him? Mrs. Jiang, Long Gatian walked over quickly and handed over a generous gift with a smile. I don't have much to show you. This is a piece of gold found by my mining company. It's not worth much, but it looks pretty. I wish Madame Jiang all the best of luck in your life. Wow! Everyone present was in an uproar, and they were flabbergasted. They didn't dare believe it, and their faces were filled with confusion. Long Gaetian was the most powerful young master in the association. He was one of the top 5 young masters in Linzhou. His status was extraordinary, and he was worth hundreds of millions of yuan. He didn't even take Xiao Huqing seriously. However, at this moment, he was so respectful to the daughter of the Zhao family. Why? Mr. Jiang, sorry to disturb you. I'll take my leave now. After Zhao Xueqing accepted it, Long Gaetian cupped his fists and smiled in a flattering manner. Then, he immediately left with his companions. Why are they so respectful to Zhao Xueqing? Fu Lanjun was surprised. She couldn't believe it. But soon, her eyes fell on Jiang Tian. Jiang Tianan sat as still as ever, his expression calm. It was as if everything in front of him was within his expectations. She had seen Long Gaetian kneel before Jiang Tian. Just now, Lu Baiyao wanted to propose a toast to Jiang Tian. Now, Long Gaetian came to give a gift. If she still couldn't figure it out, she wouldn't be Fu Lanjun. Yes, they did that for Jiang Tian's sake. But what on earth does he have to make Lu Biao fall in love with him, make Long Gaetian submit to him, and make Tang Linglong respect him so much? Fu Lanjun's face turned red and white. She couldn't believe it. Today, she was the queen of the birthday party, but she was suppressed at the moment. Mrs. Jiang, second lady, I'm here. Hee, I've prepared a few Imperial Group Diamond membership cards for you. You can come and have fun without spending a penny. Suddenly, Zhou Zhenghao also ran in and offered a card, winking as he said, It's fine. Humph. I don't care about your stinky money. Zhao Qianru didn't have a good impression of him. She glared at him and made Zhou Zhenghao sweat profusely. He kept apologizing. Everyone was dumbfounded. Zhou Zhenghao dominated the West District, but he didn't dare to show any dissatisfaction after being scolded by Zhao Qianru. He kept apologizing. Where is Mrs. Jiang? Happy birthday, Mrs. Jiang. May you live a long life. Suddenly, Zhengli came in with some rich bosses to congratulate her. The gifts piled up like a mountain, and there was even the key to a luxury sports car worth tens of millions. Oh my god, it's the boss of Huanhai Real Estate. The boss of Huanyu Pharmaceutical. Everyone was dumbfounded. They couldn't believe it. Even Lu Tianle couldn't sit still when all the big shots of this level arrived. His heart was pounding, and his eyes were filled with shock. Fu Lanjun was shocked and embarrassed at the same time. She was still feeling complacent about her birthday banquet, but compared to Zhao Xueqing, she was like a beggar. Meanwhile, Tang Linglong whispered in Jiang Tian's ear, Master, there seems to be some friction. It's all my fault. I didn't say anything in advance. Don't worry about it. Jiang Tian glanced at Fu Lanjun and smiled faintly. Miss Fu wanted to kick me out and revoke Zhao Xueqing's membership. Fu Lanjun's heart skipped a beat. She was so shocked that she almost fainted. She quickly said, Young lady, please listen to me. Fu Lanjun, how dare you be so rude to my guest? You don't have to explain. I will report this to my mother. You shouldn't be the manager of this club. Tang Lingling's tone was casual, but it made Fu Lanjun's heart sink. She could only look at Lu Tianle for help, hoping that he would speak up for her. However, she didn't know that Lu Tianle was also scared. He didn't even dare to breathe. From the moment Tang Linglong appeared, he was scared out of his wits. When Tang Linglong presented the gift, he couldn't believe it. This was the daughter of the Tang family, the daughter of Secretary Tang. Not to mention him, even his father had to smile and speak to Tang Linglong politely when he saw her. Although his father sounded like the mayor of a city, he couldn't compare to Tang Weiman. His father was old and might have to retire soon. Tang Weiman, on the other hand, was in the prime of his life and had the support of old Master Tang. How could his father compare to him? Fu Lanjun looked at Lu Tianle for help. Lu Tianle could only brace himself and smile. Mr. Jiang, it was just a misunderstanding, I told you to get lost. Jiang Tian stood up and casually stuffed the half-smoked cigarette into the pocket of Lu Tianle's white shirt. He even pressed it lightly. Lu Tianle's eyes widened in pain. He grimaced, but he didn't dare to move an inch. Jiang Tian slapped his cheek. It wasn't a heavy slap, but it was an insult. Now, can you get lost? Gloomy, cruel, arrogant, and domineering. In an instant, countless words to describe Jiang Tian appeared in Lu Tianle's mind. Jiang Tian's mocking smile was like a sharp arrow that pierced his last bit of self-esteem. He was humiliated by Jiang Tian in public. His heart was filled with hatred. However, when he thought about Jiang Tian's power, he suppressed his anger and left without saying a word. You guys get out too. Leave the venue to Mr. Jiang and Miss Xiao. Tang Linglong glanced at Fu Lanjun and said coldly. Yes, I'll leave right now. Fu Lanjun left with a gloomy face. No one dared to say a word. They all left, leaving the big hall to Jiang Tian and the others. Bastard! After leaving the banquet hall, Lu Tianle could no longer control the anger in his heart. He kicked the big vase in the corridor to pieces. Young Master Lu, please mind your words and actions. The manager who was in charge of the venue scolded him in a deep voice. The big backer of the socialite clubhouse was Secretary Tang's wife, Chen Xian. They didn't need to give Lu Tianle any face. Lu Tianle looked around and saw the waiters trying to hold back their laughter. He could only snort angrily. Seeing Fu Lanjun and Lu Biao come out together, Lu Tianle frowned and asked, Isn't Jiang Tian crazy? How could he know big shots like Tang Linglong, Long Gadian, and Zhou Zhenghao? Maybe it's because of the Jiang family. Long Gadian was so scared by him that he knelt down. Fu Lanjun was in a daze and couldn't figure out the reason. Biao, why do you respect Jiang Tian so much? Lu Tianle frowned and asked. He's handsome. I like him, okay. You're nothing compared to Jiang Tian. Lu Biao didn't bother to look at Lu Tianle. She shook her head and left. If Lu Tianle had asked her before the challenge tournament on the Blue Whale, she would have told him everything. But now, she had seen Jiang Tian's invincible power, and this person had offended Jiang Tian. Why would she care about him? This little bitch dares to ignore me. Lu Tianle was stunned. He was so angry that his handsome face turned purple. When they left the clubhouse, a Mercedes-Benz off-road vehicle suddenly drove over and stopped in front of Fu Lanjun and Lu Tianle. Young Master Lu, are you embarrassed? Long Gadian rolled down the window and said with a cigarette in his mouth. Young Master Long, you're well informed. Why does everyone respect Jiang Tian so much? Fu Lanjun asked in confusion. Chapter 81. Mr. Zhang's medical skills are amazing. He once cured Mr. Tang's serious illness. Who doesn't respect him? Long Gadian said solemnly. Oh, I see. Fu Lanjun was amazed. No wonder Mr. Tang was dying a month ago. Now he's showing up so often. Just because of this, you're submissive to Jiang Tian, as docile as a dog? Lu Tianle retorted before Long Gadian could finish his words. There were also factions among the princes. Lu Tianle was the son of an official. He was closer to Tang Jianfeng, but was estranged from Long Gadian and the other princes. You know nothing. Continue to fight with Mr. Jiang if you have the guts. You'll die a horrible death. Long Gadian was furious when he heard that. He wanted to remind Lu Tianle, but he was too lazy to do so. He started the car and drove away. So that's why the Tang family is polite to him? Lu Tianle smiled disdainfully. But that's because we need him. When Mr. Tang fully recovers, he'll stay where he is. Yes, to put it bluntly, he's just relying on the Tang family to do whatever he wants. He's nothing to worry about. Fu Lanjun was relieved and said disdainfully. Lu Tianla rolled his eyes and fanned the flames. Lanjun, if you marry Jianfeng, you'll be Tang Linglong's sister-in-law. But she kicked you out of the socialite clubhouse in public tonight. She didn't give you any face. Humph, Jianfeng said that the Tang family will hold the apprenticeship ceremony in a few days. He'll be back. I'll ask him to teach Jiang Tian a lesson by then. Tang Linglong won't be able to stop him. Fu Lanjuan's eyes were full of hatred and resentment. Her delicate body was trembling because of Lu Tianla's provocation. She didn't know why, but she felt discouraged when she saw Jiang Tian's success. Seeing Jiang Tian's cold arrogance, she felt a sour feeling in her heart. Back then, in order to let Jiang Tian marry into Lin Zhou, the Jiang family had also contacted Fu Lanjun. At that time, Jiang Tian and even the entire Jiang Tian family tried their best to please and flatter her. However, Fu Lanjuan's eyes were higher than her head. She treated Jiang Tian as a piece of trash and didn't even spare him a glance. But now, this worthless idiot was actually able to suppress her. Fu Lanjun could not help but burn with anger. She could not accept this. Yeah, Lu Wangfeng and Wu Chaohui died mysteriously. Even Long Gaetian was forced to kneel down by him. Lu Tianla's gaze was distant as he sighed softly. Right now in Lin Zhou, among the younger generation, I'm afraid only Tang Jianfeng can suppress this kid. The next day, Zhao Xueqing was called to the chairman's office by Wei Fang as soon as she went to work. Qinger, why haven't you divorced Jiang Tian yet? Mom is doing this for your own good. Wei Fang said patiently. Jiang Tian has already recovered. The secret formula of the muscle-nourishing ointment was modified by Jiang Tian. Zhao Xueqing lifted her chin slightly and said proudly. Don't lie to me. How could he have recovered? Besides, this patent is registered under your name. You must have done Professor Li's work and asked him to lie for you, right? Wei Fang did not believe her at all. I'm not lying. Jiang Tian has really recovered. He doesn't want to show his face in public, so he gave the patent to me. Zhao Xueqing smiled faintly and did not bother to say anything else. In short, she was happy with Jiang Tian. Why should she care about what other people thought? But Xueqing, this formula was rejected by the Food and Drug Administration. They didn't even issue a production license or approval document. I still need you to talk to them. Wei Fang said with a frown. The effect is so good, and it passed the clinical trial. Why didn't they approve it? Zhao Xueqing's heart sank. She was in disbelief. This patent had cost millions of dollars in the early stages, and dozens of researchers had spent countless days and nights on it. After Jiang Tian's modification, it was finally perfected. If it couldn't be approved, wouldn't it be wasted? They didn't give any details. They only said that it was a safety issue. Ask them properly tonight and see what conditions they have. Wei Fang smiled and said, Oh right, bring Jiang Qiushui from the Public Relations Department with you tonight. His uncle, Jiang Jun, is in charge of the production license. Who knows, he might have a say. What? It's not approved. When Jiang Tian heard the news, he was also in disbelief. However, he understood after thinking about it. He smiled and said, it should be Jiang Qiushui's doing. Hasn't he always liked Qianru? Oh, I see. Zhao Xueqing came to a realization. She said with disdain, no wonder Qianru has been very close to the Chongyang district mayor's son, Lu Tianfeng. I guess Jiang Qiushui is anxious and wants to use this to threaten her. Then I'll go and talk to them. After all, I know this formula very well. Jiang Tian smiled, but a strange look flashed in his eyes. That bastard Lu Tianfeng is already in contact with Zhao Qianru. Jiang Tian immediately sent a message to Zhou Zhenghao, asking him to investigate Lu Tianfeng thoroughly. In his previous life, this bastard played with Zhao Qianru's feelings and tricked her. In the end, she was sent to a mental hospital. He even belittled and provoked him repeatedly. In this life, he would directly expose his true colors, leaving him with nowhere to hide and leaving him with nothing to hide. All right. Zhao Xueqing agreed without hesitation. Now, Jiang Tian was not the same as before. Even the Tang family treated him as an important guest. How could Jiang Jun be a match for Jiang Tian? In the evening, Jiang Tian took a taxi to Zhao's pharmaceutical group to meet with Zhao Xueqing and her sister. Brother-in-law, you're here. I've put on a lip bite makeup today. Do you like it? Zhao Qianru saw Jiang Tian and immediately rushed over. She hugged Jiang Tian's arm and did not let go. Yes. Looking at his sister-in-law's youthful smile, Jiang Tian smiled and felt a little emotional. Who would have thought that? Haha, brother-in-law has good taste. I'll give you a seal then. She kissed Jiang Tian's cheek. Jiang Tian did not mind, but Zhao Xueqing could not stand it. She said, Qianru, you're not young anymore. How can you be so frivolous? Ha, you're jealous. Zhao Qianru felt that it was interesting and giggled, causing Zhao Xueqing to be extremely embarrassed and her face to turn red. All right, all right, all right. Up to you. If you want to kiss me, then kiss me. Zhao Xueqing said helplessly as she rubbed her forehead. In the office building's lobby, Jiang Tian wanted to cry when he saw this scene. He thought to himself that Zhao Qianru must have fallen for Jiang Tian. How hateful. Other than being able to fight, what's so great about this kid? How can you compare to me in any way? He could no longer hold it in. He rushed forward angrily, pointed at Jiang Tian and shouted angrily, "Stay away from Zhao Qianru. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk to me like that? Get lost." Jiang Tian said disdainfully. Good, good, good. Jiang Tian, it seems like you don't know my strength. Later, kneel down and beg me. Jiang Qiushui was so angry that his entire body was trembling. He hurriedly got into the car and sped towards the meeting place. The Golden Rock Hotel was a joint stock enterprise after the Municipal Party guest house was restructured in the 1990s. It only had 4 stars, but the decoration was elegant and grand, and the service was first class. It was the favorite of the officials. Jiang Tian walked into the lobby. Suddenly, a middle-aged man came up to him and said respectfully, "Master Kong, why are you here?" "Oh, Secretary Kai, I'm here to see an official from the Food and Drug Administration." When he saw who it was, Jiang Tian's face was calm as he smiled and said, "If there's anything you need, Master Kong, just say the word. I'm in charge of this hotel." Secretary Kai said humbly. Now, Jiang Tian was Tang Linglong's master, an important guest of the Tang family. Even Secretary Tang had to lower his head when he saw him. How would he dare to be disrespectful? "It's nothing. You can go about your business." Jiang Tian walked in. "Which room did Mr. Jiang enter just now?" Secretary Kai waved at the head waiter. After he asked, he immediately returned to his room and reported to Secretary Tang. "Miss Xiao, there's a big problem with this prescription. I won't give you the approval no matter what you say." In the room, the Deputy Director of the Food and Drug Administration, Jiang Jun, was sitting in the middle. He was very dignified and serious. Zhao Xueqing talked about the results of the experiment, but he just said, "Theoretically speaking, there's a problem with this prescription. There's no precedent for using medicine in this way. Your clinical trial may have been faked." He pushed all the blame away. "Uncle, I'm an employee of this company after all. Uncle Zhao and Auntie Wei Fang take good care of me." Jiang Qiushui was in charge of playing the good guy. He smiled and said, "No matter what, you have to give me a way out. Why don't I feel that your relationship is good?" Jiang Jun smiled coldly and disdainfully. "Director Jiang, if you have any conditions, just say it. Don't beat around the bush. Jiang Tian was a little annoyed and went straight to the point. Alright, you're a sensible person. Then, I'll say what I have to say. Jiang Jun looked at Jiang Tian in disdain and smiled. Qiushui has always liked Qianru. Let them get married as soon as possible and we'll become relatives. Qianru, you can call me uncle. Can I not let you guys off? What? You want me to marry Jiang Qiushui? Zhao Qianru couldn't believe it and widened her eyes. Qianru, I've always liked you. Don't worry. As long as we get married, I'll definitely treat you well. Jiang Qiushui mustered his courage and held Zhao Qianru's hand. Jiang Jun smiled, but his gaze was a little sinister. It was as if he was saying, if you don't agree, I'll make things difficult for you. Qiushui, don't be like this. I only treat you as a friend. Zhao Qianru was startled when she saw Jiang Qiushui's lecherous face. She immediately retracted her hand. Jiang Jun's face instantly darkened as he coldly said, Zhao Qianru, don't be so shameless. Our Jiang family is a reputable family in Linzhou. Qiushui is also very talented. How is she not worthy of you? If you don't agree, just you wait. I'll make your Zhao pharmaceutical company shut down. How can you guys do this? Zhao Qianru instantly panicked. Her eyes turned red as tears welled up in her eyes. But then, she narcissistically said, is being beautiful also a sin? She nearly made Jiang Tian laugh. Chapter 82. Deputy Director Jiang, do you think you can do whatever you want in Linzhou? Jiang Tian stopped smiling and asked coldly. So what? When it comes to drug management, I can do whatever I want. I'm the law. Hearing the hostility in Jiang Tian's words, Jiang Jun was instantly enraged. He slammed the table and said majestically, this prescription of yours is trash. The inventor of this prescription is also trash. He arrogantly raised his hand and pointed at Jiang Tian, snorted coldly and said, don't think that you can break the rules just because you know Zhou Zhenghao. It doesn't work when it comes to me. Don't talk anymore, leave. If you want to talk, tell Wei Fang to get Zhao Huqing to come to me. Jiang Jun arrogantly waved his hand and ordered them to leave. He didn't put Jiang Tian in his eyes at all. How could a mere public relations officer have the qualifications to talk to him on equal terms? Jiang Tian, how can you talk to my uncle like that? Hurry up and apologize to me. I'll punish you with a bottle of white wine. Jiang Qiushui scolded Jiang Tian. He completely treated Jiang Tian as a soft persimmon that he could easily crush. He purposely made Jiang Tian lose face in front of Zhao Qianru. He wanted to let Zhao Qianru see how useless this brat was. Hee, you think you're so great just because your uncle is a small official? But you don't know what I'm capable of. If I wanted to touch you, your uncle would have to take off his official hat in minutes. Jiang Tian looked at Jiang Qiushui mockingly. Arrogant. Brat, you're really arrogant. Jiang Jun was so angry that he laughed. He arrogantly pointed at Jiang Tian and said, a mere public relations officer dares to be so impudent and rude in front of me. How preposterous. He gritted his teeth and said fiercely, it seems that if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know that I'm a dye house owner. Tomorrow, your Zhao pharmaceutical company will have to close down. I'll investigate you to death. It's useless no matter who begs for mercy. Jiang Qiushui also looked at Jiang Tian proudly. Hee, now you know what I'm capable of, right? Deputy Director Jiang is so powerful. Jiang Tian swirled his wine glass, lowered his eyes, and smiled bitterly. It was as if he had been forced into a corner and was at his wit's end. He could only lower his head and admit defeat. He could only let Zhao Qianru marry Jiang Qiushui. Xiao Jiang, is there anything wrong with this prescription? Just as Jiang Qiushui was getting carried away, the door was suddenly pushed open. A tall figure walked in and asked in a deep voice. Tang. Tang, Tang. The moment he saw who it was, Jiang Jun stood up in shock. He was so scared that his legs trembled and he almost fell to the ground. He was so stunned that he didn't say the words, "Secretary." "Who are you? Don't you know how to knock before entering? Get out." Jiang Qiushui suddenly turned around and asked in a very displeased manner. Pa. Jiang Jun was shocked and angry. He slapped Jiang Qiushui's face and scolded, "Are you crazy? How dare you talk to Secretary Tang like that?" Secretary Tang. Secretary Tang of the Municipal Party Committee. Jiang Qiushui covered his face in confusion. When he suddenly recognized the person, his face drastically changed. He was scared out of his wits and his voice trembled. "Master Kong, I know that you're hosting a banquet here, so I came uninvited. Please don't blame me. Here's a toast to you." Tang Weiman no longer looked at the two of them. He walked to Jiang Tian and respectfully handed over a wine glass. Jiang Jun and Jiang Qiushui were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe it. Wasn't this brat just a small PR person? Why was Secretary Tang so respectful to him? "Secretary Tang, you're too polite." Jiang Tianan sat as still as ever, calmly picking up the wine cup and taking a sip, but Tang Weiman drank it all in one gulp. "Oh right, Master Kong, did you encounter any problems with your new medicine?" Tang Weiman bowed and asked humbly. "Secretary Tang, this is all a misunderstanding." Jiang Jun only felt a chill down his spine. He looked at Jiang Tian for help. "Mr. Jiang, I was too rude just now. Please let me go. Tomorrow, no, tonight, I'll work overtime to pass the review and issue the production permit." "Oh, I don't know if there's a problem with this prescription." Jiang Tian glanced at Jiang Jun and said lightly, "But Deputy Director Jiang said that as long as my sister-in-law marries his nephew, there's no problem. If she doesn't, Zhao Pharmaceutical Company will have to close down." Preposterous, preposterous. Tang Weiman's face turned green when he heard this. He slammed the table and shouted angrily. "Jiang Jun, is this how you work? How dare you abuse your position for personal gain and seize by force? Where do you place the party discipline and the law of the country?" "Secretary Tang, I really didn't know that Mr. Jiang knew you. I know I was wrong." Secretary Tang's authority was not to be underestimated. Jiang Jun was so scared that his face turned pale. His body trembled like a sieve. He sat on the ground and sweat poured down like rain. "Nonsense. Master Kong is not my benefactor, so you can do whatever you want." Tang Weiman's face was frosty. He gritted his teeth and said, "Fine, wait for the Commission for Discipline Inspection to investigate you." "Secretary Tang, Mr. Jiang, please let me go." Jiang Jun felt as if he was struck by lightning. He couldn't hold on any longer. His body went limp and his tears fell like rain. He had received a lot of dirty money over the years and even had a mistress. How could he withstand the investigation of the Commission for Economic Affairs? A few years in prison was unavoidable. "Master Kong, I've prepared a banquet over there. Why don't we move there?" Tang Weiman said in an almost ingratiating tone. "Okay." Jiang Tian stood up and glanced at Jiang Qiushui with a faint smile. Then he slowly walked away. Jiang Tian's silent slap in the face made Jiang Qiushui's face turn red. He was so ashamed that he wanted to find a hole to hide in. Now, when he thought about how he had acted all high and mighty, he felt that he was as laughable as a clown. After Jiang Tian and the others left, the room was silent. Jiang Jun and Jiang Qiushui sat there like two pieces of wood. They didn't speak for a long time. How does he know Secretary Tang and make Secretary Tang respect him so much? Jiang Jun muttered to himself. He wanted to cry but no tears came out. He said in a trembling voice, "This is over. It's really over, I don't know. He's just a small PR guy." Jiang Qiushui said with a dull face. Jiang Jun suddenly became angry. He grabbed the wine bottle and viciously smashed it on Jiang Qiushui's head. Bang! The wine bottle shattered. Jiang Qiushui's head was bleeding. He fell to the ground and screamed in pain, "Uncle, why did you hit me? You piece of trash. I'm going to die because of you." Jiang Jun kicked him in the stomach like a mad tiger. He roared, "You don't even know who she is, yet you're jealous of her. You even stepped on her. Are you looking for death? Uncle, don't hit me." Jiang Qiushui was kicked and rolled on the ground. He even threw up his dinner. He screamed and begged for mercy. "I'll kill you." But Jiang Jun didn't stop at all. Instead, he kicked him harder and harder. As he kicked, he also cursed wildly, "You're so stupid. Secretary Tang respects him so much. How can he be a small PR guy? You piece of trash. You only know how to pick up girls every day. You don't even know that there's such an expert around you. I'll beat you to death today." Clivia Fashion Company. Fu Lanjun, dressed in a cheongsam, was sitting behind the luxurious office desk and looking at this month's financial report. Suddenly, the secretary rushed in and said in a panic, "Boss, something big happened." "What happened?" Fu Lanjun put down the financial report and asked with a frown. She had been inquiring about Jiang Tian for the past few days, but to no avail. She couldn't figure out what had happened to Jiang Tian. She had also called Zhao Xueqing and wanted to talk to Jiang Tian. She had always been trying to build good karma and didn't want to offend people. She didn't expect that Jiang Tian wouldn't give her any face and refused to meet her even though she was so humble. This made her annoyed with Jiang Tian. "What are you so proud of? When you wanted to marry me, you were so humble. Now you just treated Elder Tang's illness. What's so great about that? I just received news that the Tang family's daughter, Tang Linglong, wants to be apprenticed to a martial Dao master. 3 days later, a grand apprenticeship ceremony will be held at Crouching Dragon Villa." The secretary told her the news. "Ah. So she wants to be apprenticed. Who is it?" Fu Lanjun was dumbfounded and couldn't believe it. Elder Tang was originally a martial Dao master. Wasn't it enough to have his guidance? Just where did this person come from? Could it be that he was even more powerful than Elder Tang? It seems to be some martial Dao master. We don't know the details. The secretary shook her head and said excitedly. But this time, the Tang family is going to hold a grand event. They're sending out invitations in the name of Elder Tang. All the tycoons and big shots have been invited. That's strange. This doesn't fit the Tang family's style. Fu Lanjun was surprised. The Tang family had always kept a low profile. They were known for their culture, heritage, and style. This time, however, they were going to be so high profile and extravagant. This was something that had never happened before. Jianfeng probably came back this time for Tang Linglong's apprenticeship ceremony. When the time comes, I'll be able to broaden my horizons and meet the master who made the Tang family submit to him. Fu Lanjun was slightly stunned. Her beautiful face was filled with anticipation. The news that the Tang family was going to hold an apprenticeship ceremony for Tang Linglong at Crouching Dragon Villa and invited guests from all over the world to a banquet spread like wildfire. Everyone in Linzhou knew that the Tang family was low-key and simple. Now that they were sending out invitations and holding a grand ceremony at Crouching Dragon Villa, it was extremely high-profile. This was great news and a rare opportunity for those who wanted to suck up to the Tang family. Who would not be shocked and envious? For a time, all the tycoons were asking around for invitations and prepared lavish gifts to improve their relationship with the Tang family. Moreover, many high-ranking officials and nobles from the Shaolin province also put down the things at hand and returned to Lin province just to participate in this apprenticeship ceremony. This was not as simple as sucking up to the Tang family. It was said that some of the Yanjin tycoons who were close to the Tang family had sent congratulatory gifts. If one could get close to these tycoons, they might even be able to improve their relationship with them. Star Bar was Lu Tianle's gathering spot. At this moment, he was drinking and chatting with a group of tycoons. The bar owner, the former president of Starlight Society, Fu Xinghui, was also accompanying him. Young Master Lu, have you heard? The Tang family's daughter is going to hold an apprenticeship ceremony in 3 days, said a tycoon. That's right. Lu Tianle nodded. My dad also received an invitation. He's bringing me to meet the legendary Master Kong. Is this Master Kong very powerful? Another tycoon asked curiously. He is able to make Tang Linglong become his apprentice. What do you think? Lu Tianle glanced at him discreetly as a look of admiration appeared on his face. I heard that this Master Kong can control lightning, summon ghosts, and condense qi into a fist. He can even punch a helicopter in the air. Fuck. That's awesome. Young Master Lu, that's ridiculous. It's like a Hollywood blockbuster. Everyone exclaimed in disbelief. Chapter 83. You mortals, how would you know how powerful these otherworldly experts are? Lu Tianle's face was full of disdain. He snorted coldly and then said with reverence, he's a martial Dao grandmaster. Now, not only does the Tang family value him, even Yi Gufeng of the Eastern Sea and Xue Mingyi of the River District are willing to be his lackeys. Master Feng. Even Master Feng of Donghai is afraid of him. Everyone was dumbfounded, as if they were in a dream. Yes, even Tang Jianfeng is coming back this time. Lu Tianle smiled and said, he has already reached the peak of Iron Body. Elder Tang wants him to meet this Grandmaster Jiang. Maybe he can catch Grandmaster Jiang's eye and be accepted as a disciple. What? Jianfeng is coming back. Suddenly, Fu Xinghui said excitedly, great. Jiang Tian, the crazy son-in-law of the Zhao family, once slapped me and knocked out several of my molars. Now that Jianfeng is back, he is dead meat. Lu Tianle was surprised and said, which Jiang Tian are you talking about? Zhao Huqing's son-in-law. Yes. Fu Xinghui gnashed his teeth and complained about the bloody history of Jiang Tian beating him. Humph, this Long Gaetian is a spineless coward. Lu Tianle snorted with disdain. Just because Jiang Tian cured Master Tang, he and his father are trying to curry favor with him. They don't even care about brotherhood. Don't they feel disgusted? That's right. My sand and stone business has been given to Jiang Tian's friend, Shen Lu. Fu Xinghui wanted to cry but had no tears. He gnashed his teeth with hatred. Now, you're only leaving me this small bar. Aren't you cutting off my path to survival? Don't worry. Lu Tianle said with a look of reverence. Master Jianfeng is not what he used to be. He is the backbone of the Tang family. In Master Tang's mind, he is more important than Tang Linglong. Long Gaetian and Zhou Zhenghao are nothing compared to Master Jianfeng. He patted Fu Xinghui's shoulder and comforted, he will definitely uphold justice for you. That Jiang Tian, just wait for your death. In his heart, he said that Tang Jianfeng and Fu Lanjun had already pledged themselves to each other. However, at the birthday banquet, Jiang Tian had embarrassed her. How could Tang Jianfeng let him off? Young Master Jianfeng is so powerful now. Didn't you pick up girls and fight with us every day back then? A rich young master asked in surprise. Watch your words. Lu Tianle shouted in a low voice, his eyes cold. The tycoon, who had a net worth of tens of millions and owned several gyms, was so scared that he trembled. The unit he joined is called the War Tiger Special Forces. He is now a second lieutenant. Lu Tianle had a look of reverence on his face. He sighed at his own inferiority, but there was something he didn't say. They were the reserve troops of the legendary Huaxiaolong formation. The national treasure, the Great Wall of Steel. Jiang Tian didn't know anything about the Tang family's big move, and he didn't care about it at all. Jiang Jun was arrested by the Commission for Discipline Inspection that night. After a simple investigation, they found out that he had a lot of assets of unknown origin. He was just a deputy director, but he had more than a dozen properties worth tens of millions. It would be more than enough for him to be sentenced to 10 years in prison. With the obstacle removed, the muscle tonifying ointment was immediately approved for mass production and marketing. Morning at number 38 Lakeview Villa. After receiving the approval for the muscle tonifying ointment, Zhao Hucheng was very happy. Today, he invited Zhao Xueqing to the Lakeview Villa for dinner. Zhao Xueqing insisted on bringing Jiang Tian. Although he was unhappy, he didn't stop her. What did you say? Jiang Tian knows Secretary Tang. Zhao Hucheng held the production approval in his hand and couldn't believe it. He stared at Zhao Xueqing. However, Zhao Xueqing just said a few words and then threw out such a huge bomb. Zhao Hucheng was shocked. Yes, Jiang Tian is now a martial arts grandmaster. On the Blue Whale Princess, he punched out a fist the size of a millstone and pushed it hundreds of meters away. He killed an expert who jumped from a height of 100 meters and was unharmed. Even the helicopter was pushed 5 to 6 meters away. He can also catch ghosts. That ghost was so big, about 3 to 4 meters tall. It even had a child with it. It can transform and create illusions. Even the masters of the Maoshan sect were no match for it. Jiang Tian killed it with his sword. Zhao Xueqing's face was filled with pride as she spoke rapidly. Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang looked at each other. Both of them frowned and looked worried. It seemed that Xueqing was seriously ill. Mental illness shouldn't be an infectious disease, right? Why did Xueqing also go insane and start hallucinating? Xueqing, take your temperature. Do you have a fever? Wei Fang asked worriedly. You don't believe me? Zhao Xueqing didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She smiled and said, I'm telling the truth. Jiang Tian also cured Master Tang's strange illness. Now the Tang family is very polite to Jiang Tian. Not only the Tang family, but also Donghai's Yigufeng and Lin Zhou's richest man, Xuemingyi. Her condition is very serious. Wei Fang said worriedly, Old Zhao, it seems that we have to send her to the mental hospital for a checkup as soon as possible. She should be delusional. Don't argue with her. Her condition might worsen if she gets agitated. Zhao Hucheng's heart sank, but he didn't dare to say it out loud. He whispered to Wei Fang. It must be because he forced her to divorce Jiang Tian some time ago. The pressure was too great. Finished speaking, Zhao Hucheng nodded his head and said with a smile, Oh, so Jiang Tian is so powerful now. Amazing. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. It must be District Head Lu and Tianfeng. Zhao Hucheng's face lit up. He stood up as if a rocket was installed on his butt. Quickly, welcome them. Wei Fang was also surprised. She worriedly reminded Jiang Tian and Zhao Xueqing, esteemed guests are here. Without my signal, don't talk nonsense. It won't be good if you make a fool of yourself. District Head Zhao, Chief Wei, we're late. When they reached the courtyard, they saw a middle-aged man with an extraordinary aura walking in with a tall and handsome young man. There was also a beautiful lady with good maintenance. Zhao Hucheng was only the district head of the development zone office, while Lu Yuwei was the district head of Chongyang district. How could he dare to be negligent? His face was full of joy as he greeted the other party. He shook the other party's large hands and said with a smile, District Head Lu, we are honored by your presence. Your presence brings light to my humble abode. Old Zhao, we're family from now on. Just call me Old Lu. Don't stand on ceremony. Lu Yuwei looked down at Zhao Hucheng. His words were polite, but there was a hint of pride in his eyes. I wouldn't dare. We still have to follow the rules. Zhao Hucheng flattered. Mom, this is Lu Tianfeng. He's my senior in high school. Zhao Qianru's face was also red. There was excitement in her eyes as she pointed at the young man. Behind her was a tall girl with a picturesque face. Jiang Tian had some impression of her. Her name was Chu Yue, and she was the daughter of a deputy director of the city's Bureau of Commerce. She and Zhao Qianru were classmates and best friends. She often played matchmaker between Lu Tianfeng and Zhao Qianru. In his previous life, this girl looked down on Jiang Tian. She called him a good-for-nothing and often attacked him. Lu Tianfeng wore a snow-white shirt and shiny leather shoes. He held his head high and carried a gift. He looked like a promising young man. He bowed politely and said, "Hello, uncle, auntie." As for Jiang Tian and Zhao Xueqing, he knew their background. In the Zhao family, their status was even lower than the servants. He couldn't be bothered to look at them. "Aya, Tianfeng is so handsome. You didn't have to bring a gift. Please come in." When Wei Fang saw Lu Tianfeng's gentlemanly demeanor and clear eyes, which was many times better than the taciturn Jiang Tian, she liked him a little. She took the gift and couldn't stop smiling. The two families and Chu Yue walked into the living room. After exchanging some pleasantries, they sat at the dining table. The servants served the dishes and they chatted while eating. The topics were very broad. They ranged from Lin Zhou's political secrets to business trends and even gossip. Zhao Xueqing and Jiang Tian were arranged to sit at the end of the table. They listened to the Lu family talk without saying a word. Zhao Huqing saw that even the younger Lu Tianfeng and Chu Yue were talking loudly. However, Jiang Tian was a taciturn person. He couldn't help but feel bitter. This son-in-law of his was useless. He could only rely on his future son-in-law, Lu Tianfeng. As they chatted, they talked about Master Kong, who had recently made a name for himself in Linzhou. "Uncle Zhao, Uncle Lu, have you heard of the famous Master Kong in Linzhou?" Chu Yue's appearance was bright, beautiful, and cute. She was witty during the banquet. If she was placed outside, she would definitely be a goddess-like figure. "I heard that he can control thunder and lightning. He can split mountains with a wave of his hand. He can condense qi into a fist and hurt people in the air." Zhao Huqing shook his head since he had never heard of it before. However, Lu Yue sighed, "He's an otherworldly expert. Not only did he dominate Linzhou city, but he also dominated the 3 cities in Jiangbei. He's that powerful. Is that true?" Zhao Huqing couldn't believe it. How can it be false? This Master Kong is Tang Linglong's master. Even Elder Tang and Secretary Tang think highly of him. Lu Yue said with a smile. "What's the name of this Master Kong? How old is he?" Chu Yue asked curiously. "If he's young, I'll marry him." Zhao Xueqing wanted to say that Jiang Tian was Master Kong. However, when she heard that, she glared at Jiang Tian and whispered, "Did you hear that? She's going to marry you." Jiang Tian whispered into her ear. "Don't worry, wife. No matter how young or beautiful she is, I won't be moved. In my opinion, she's not even worth a strand of your hair. His name is Kong Teichu. He's already a martial Dao master. He's probably in his 70s or 80s. No one heard the conversation between the two. Lu Yue pondered for a moment and said, "Ha, they're both surnamed Jiang. I thought it was Jiang Tian." Lu Tianfeng looked at Jiang Tian with a mocking smile. Jiang Tian only smiled faintly. Zhao Huqing was eager to climb up the social ladder of the Lu family. With the help of the alcohol, he said, "Mayor Lu, Qianru is about to graduate. Since they want to start a family, they should start a family before starting a career. Why don't we let them get married as soon as possible? It'll be good for both of their careers if they love each other." Lu Yue smiled reservedly. "I don't have any objections. But what about the betrothal gift?" "That's fine. We don't need a single cent." Wei Fang quickly added. Looks like President Wei and Director Zhao are sensible people. Madame Lu smiled proudly. I won't hide it from you. There are so many people who want to propose marriage to my Tianfeng that they can break our doorstep. If it wasn't for the fact that Tianfeng was bewitched by your little lass and insisted on marrying no one but her, I would never agree to this marriage. Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang's faces froze. Although Zhao Qianru was indeed climbing up the social ladder by marrying into the Lu family, how could such words be said on the table? Chapter 84. You're right, in-law. As long as they love each other, we'll be satisfied. Zhao Hucheng smiled apologetically and changed the topic. Madame Lu wasn't done yet. She said arrogantly, we won't give a single cent for the betrothal gifts, but you can't be short on the dowry. Auntie, we don't want the betrothal gifts, but you want the dowry? Zhao Qianru couldn't hold it in anymore. That's right. Madame Lu nodded. If Qianru wants to marry Tianfeng, she has to take away 50% of Zhao Pharmaceutical Company's shares. Also, these shares have to be registered under Tianfeng's name. Wei Fang's face tightened. Madame Lu, although Zhao Pharmaceutical Company isn't a big company, it's still our lifetime's worth of hard work. I really can't bear to give it away like this. Oh, then there's no need to talk about it. Madame Lu crossed her arms and said arrogantly. There are plenty of young ladies who want to marry Tianfeng. He graduated from a famous school and started his own business when he was in university. He started an internet company. We don't care about a mere few tens of millions. How can you do this? Tianfeng, say something. Zhao Qianru felt wronged. Her beautiful eyes glistened with tears. Qianru, I'm doing this for your own good. Lu Tianfeng glanced at Jiang Tian and Zhao Xueqing. If the company isn't in our hands, are we going to give it to your sister and your crazy brother-in-law? I've heard about this brother-in-law of yours. Not only does he eat, drink, gamble, and smoke, he's also crazy and stupid. He's a piece of trash. That's between me and my sister. You don't have to care. Zhao Qianru was annoyed. Also, you can't talk about my brother-in-law like that. How would you know what my brother-in-law is capable of? What is he capable of? Lu Tianfeng was disdainful and patiently guided him. If the company falls into the hands of the two of them, then your parents' hard work will be wasted. Madame Lu added, even a useless piece of trash like Jiang Tian can be the son-in-law of the Zhao family. It's obvious that the Zhao family is nothing. How can your daughter be worthy of my son? Jiang Tian was disgusted when he heard that. He frowned and said, it's fine if you want to elevate yourselves, but can you not belittle me? If you dare to offend me again, I won't forgive you. I'm just telling the truth. Lu Tianfeng showed no fear. Instead, he looked at Jiang Tian with disdain. Jiang Tian, do you think I don't know you? Crazy and silly, smashing and burning things at home every day, and even hitting Sister Xueqing. If I were you, I would divorce Sister Xueqing. Don't hold her back. Lu Tianfeng, you have no right to interrupt our relationship. Zhao Xueqing glared at him and said coldly, no matter what Jiang Tian does, he will still be your future brother-in-law. All right. Stop arguing. Mayor Lu furrowed his brows and exuded a powerful aura. Boss Wei, old Zhao, you guys are too short-sighted. It's not an exaggeration to say that you guys are short-sighted. Small tycoons like you are as common as carps crossing the river in Linzhou. There are even more people who want to suck up to me. He took out a few invitations and slammed them on the table. Look carefully, I have 5 invitations to the Tang family's apprenticeship ceremony. Do you think a businessman like you can get one? Mayor Lu, you actually got an invitation to the Tang family's apprenticeship ceremony? That's rare. Zhao Hucheng's eyes lit up. Although the Tang family's banquet this time was grand, it was also very strict. One had to be at a certain level to receive an invitation. In terms of official position, one had to be at least a division head. Even a deputy division head would not have a chance. In terms of assets, one had to be at least 100 million yuan. Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang ran a small company. They were not famous people, so they could only watch helplessly. They did not even dare to think about it. A normal bureau head or district head can only get one invitation. But Mayor Lu is my brother-in-law. Wouldn't it be easy for me to get a few more invitations? Lu Yue said proudly. If you guys can agree to this set of dowry, I'll bring you to the Tang family's apprenticeship ceremony. District head Lu frowned and said, prepare a generous gift. When I see Secretary Tang, I'll put in a good word for him and leave a good impression. Isn't it just a matter of time before you get promoted and become rich? Mayor Lu's level is really high. When he said that, even Wei Fang was tempted. She smiled awkwardly. Yes, if they could climb up the Tang family's branch, wouldn't they be so awesome? How could a small official like Jiang Jun make things difficult for them? They would scare him to death. This banquet is unprecedentedly grand. Big shots like Haizhou Gufeng, the richest man Zheng Guangxia, and the underworld's Lord Long Wu will all attend. Madame Lu said proudly. If it wasn't for my Lu family, how could your Zhao family get this opportunity? How could this opportunity be exchanged for just a few tens of millions? Even the richest man Zheng Guangxia and Dong Haizhi Gufeng will attend. Wei Fang's eyes widened in disbelief. These people had powerful backgrounds and assets of tens of billions. She and Zhao Hucheng couldn't compare at all. Lu Changfeng looked at Jiang Tian with disdain and said, Jiang Tian, are you qualified to know these nobles? His voice suddenly rose a few octaves as he aggressively questioned, what are you talking about? Can you get a ticket to the Tang family ceremony? Can you bring your uncle and auntie to meet them? Jiang Tian slowly peeled the prawns and said with a look of disdain. What nobles? They're just a bunch of ants. They're not qualified to be Jiang Tian's lackeys. Jiang Tian took out a key and sneered. See? Zheng Guangxia gave me the key to King No. 1 Villa. I can have as many tickets as I want. What's so strange about that? You have the nerve to take them out as treasures. What a disgrace. What's so hard about getting to know them? I just need to say a word and they'll come over and kowtow 3 times and 9 times. As soon as his voice fell, the whole place was dead silent. Everyone says that Zhao Hucheng's son-in-law is crazy. Today, I see that his craziness has reached a whole new level. Lu Yue and his family were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe it. Uncle Jiang, you're not young anymore. You're still so Chinibu. Chu Yue burst into laughter instead, and her face was covered in ridicule as she teased with a face full of ridicule. Arrogant. The ignorant are really fearless. Lu Tianfeng was so angered by Jiang Tian that his whole body trembled. He stood up and pointed at Jiang Tian with disdain. Jiang Tian, you're a lunatic. You eat, drink, and gamble. Now you've even learned how to brag. You're talking nonsense. If your words are spread out, you will definitely be torn into pieces by their followers and lackeys. You're just a piece of trash. How dare you disrespect the Lu family? Kneel down and kowtow to me. Otherwise, I won't let you go. Noisy. Who do you think you are? How dare you point fingers at me? Kneel down and talk to me. Jiang Tian was too lazy to talk nonsense. He swatted Lu Tianfeng's head like he was swatting a fly. Plop. Lu Tianfeng felt like he was being crushed by Mount Tai. An irresistible pressure assaulted him. His knees went soft and he fell to his knees. What the fuck, what did you do to me? Lu Tianfeng roared in disbelief. Others might not have seen it clearly, but he knew very well that Jiang Tian didn't even touch him. Yet, he couldn't control himself and fell to his knees. Jiang Tian couldn't be bothered to pay attention to him. His hand continued to press down. Lu Tianfeng struggled with all his might, but there was nothing he could do. Like a toad, he fell to the ground with a thud, prostrating himself on the ground. I've said it before. If you dare to offend me again, I won't forgive you. Jiang Tian slowly raised his hand. Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang were horrified. Jiang Tian dared to lay a hand on Lu Tianfeng. He was in big trouble. You! How can you be so barbaric? Chu Yue backed away in fear. Her face was pale and her heart ached. You! How dare you hit him? Do you want me to call the police to arrest you? District Head Lu was furious. Seeing that her son's knee was bleeding, Mrs. Lu's heart was about to break. She shouted angrily, "What the fuck? How dare this piece of trash hit my son? Intolerable bullying, despicable, evil person. I won't forgive you. I will send you to the police station and sentence you to 10 years. Jiang Tian, don't be rude to our guest. Get him up." Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang shouted at the same time. I'm a piece of trash. I'm lowly. I'm evil. Then let's see what your son does. Jiang Tian picked up the TV remote control, turned it on and clicked on a video provided by Zhou Zhenghao. He smiled and said, "Uncle, Auntie, take a look." The video was immediately played. One was Lu Tianfeng drugging a girl and then forcing himself on her. The other was him skating with a few rich kids in a private room and messing around with a few ice cream girls. There was also the scene of him beating up his ex-girlfriend and threatening her verbally when he found out that he cheated on her. The time in the video was when he was dating Zhao Qianru. I didn't expect this piece of trash to be so despicable. He's worse than a beast. Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang were dumbfounded and their hearts turned cold. If this piece of trash married their daughter, how miserable would Zhao Qianru's future be? On the other hand, Zhao Qianru was so angry that her entire body was trembling. She slapped Lu Tianfeng twice and said with tears in her beautiful eyes, "Is this what you meant by loving me for the rest of my life and treating me well for the rest of my life? How did you get these? How dare you follow me?" Lu Tianfeng was shocked and couldn't believe it. This marriage is over. Get out. Now. Wei Fang was also trembling with anger. She pointed at the door and shouted. No matter how snobbish she was, she loved her daughter and would never push her daughter into a fire pit. There must be some misunderstanding. Lu Yue was also embarrassed. He was speechless and pulled his son away. Jiang Tian, how dare you hit my son? I will never forgive you. I'm going to, Madame Lu threatened with threatening gestures. Get out. Before Madame Lu could finish her words, Jiang Tian harumphed coldly and flicked his sleeves. A ferocious force swept out and slapped Madame Lu's face, sending her flying more than 10 meters away. She landed outside the door and fell on her butt. The living room was dead silent. Zhao Hucheng and Wei Fang were stunned. They didn't expect Jiang Tian to be so domineering and ruthless that he even dared to hit Mrs. Lu. Auntie, are you okay? Chu Yue was embarrassed and quickly went to help Mrs. Lu. District Head Lu's family bluffed a few harsh words before they finally left the Zhao family's villa. The living room was silent. Suddenly, Zhao Qianru let out a suppressed cry and ran out of the door with tears on her face. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.